now, me and Travisio Terrell. Hola, we are live?
Mm, mm, mm.
Morning, everybody.
How was that this morning, guys?
Ouch.
No? It was, the takeoff was there. That whole landing thing,
We'll get you there.
I don't know what is, how do you say, my name is in French? Anyone?
Hmm.
Anyone? Well, oui.
Indeed. Chris Dem and Travis Rowe, we are live. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't checked it out yet, we've been posting about it on the Twitter, on the Facebook, and more Midcoast Media's YouTube page. We're streaming live on YouTube. It's actually super exciting. You can see the crystal clear capabilities that our Tech Electronics cameras provide us. So we enjoy that. A lot of clips up from all our comedy interviews. So go there, subscribe, and check out the videos. Maybe even tell a friend about it. It's good times.
Nice.
And the team here has been working very hard on it, so appreciate that. Be sure to check it out today. It's a much better viewing experience than the Facebook Lives, but we appreciate everybody on either platform. Travis, we're joined here in the studio by the executive producer and keeper of the chips, Chris Gardner.
Bonjour, gentlemen.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That it?
Bonjour, walnuts.
Okay, nuts on walls. Chris, come on now. There you go. Wario.
Mon nom est Chris
Okay. I don't.
Gardner?
Okay.
I think that's French. I don't know.
It's good to see you.
You too?
It's a lovely scooter weather today.
It's a little windy, actually. I
Mm,
just had to smoke.
can I tell you a truth?
Yeah.
I think you're traumatized.
No, I just.
Oh, yeah, he's doing the thing where you're like, hey, beautiful scooter weather. He's like, tire's a little flat.
You think I have PTSD?
I'm almost certain you do.
Who should I talk to about that?
Do you really want me to do a live read?
That was well done.
They certainly can help
you
with that.
set him up, man. He got to set you up.
They take it quite seriously. St. Louis Counseling Services, improving lives since when, Travis? 1955.
Oh man,
have
not the
personally
50s.
have personally recommended their services to close friends, family members, business associates, and it has gone swimmingly. They're very happy with their visits and their counseling sessions. You can be too if you need help and need to chat with somebody. stlouiscounseling.org is the best resource. Check out the website for all their capabilities and the podcast, Mental Health Matters. You can check that out. They're going to have a very special guest this week, a meteorologist who went through a little bit of a tussle online and came out on top. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Either way, check out stlouiscounseling.org for more information. And I think it's about time we get Tom back in here, too. He hasn't been on in a minute.
We could address my PTSD.
Yeah, have Tom break down Travis's quirks. And
I'm just thinking
Gardner's,
about it. Now, the only thing is, Gardner yesterday made the point of saying that, well, the salt from last week's ice still on
Yeah,
the
I'm
concrete.
not doing that underneath.
So he doesn't
my-
want salt underneath his brand new scooter, which is absolutely understandable because it can rust the materials and things like
Yeah,
that.
I don't need. There's no reason for
Okay.
me to take a risk.
Not
on
if it's
Okay.
powder coated, a Gateway powder coat.
Oh boy,
Be sure to
no,
take your
now- okay,
scooters,
now
your
you guys are
bikes,
just being rude to
your
each other.
motorcycles,
Oh, boy.
gatewaypowdercoat.com for more information. You'll enjoy the experience. Mark and the gang take great care of their customers, and they look out for you and yours. That's gatewaypowdercoat.com for more information.
We're in the
Everybody.
Google box.
That's
On the
right.
Google box.
Knocking them out.
But I just wanted to make sure. Maybe you're not as traumatized as you.
We could give it a shot
on.
today if it's not too
It's gonna be
windy.
50, 55 later.
Yeah, that's
today.
what. Actually, I asked Alexa what the weather is going to be normally before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning before I'm heading out.
It is
And
kind of motivating, isn't it?
And I heard a 57 high today, and I actually thought, ooh, maybe the scooter is an option today.
We had a freeze last week, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be nearly 60 today.
Yeah.
We had literally an annoying freeze where I was spinning around in a circle for what felt like a good hour, hour and a half, and now it's going to be 60 at some point today.
Mm-hmm. This is our weather. This is how it works. Get used to it.
I don't like it.
Carbon emissions,
I don't like it at all.
extremes.
I don't like it.
Well, you're going to have to adapt. That's what we all have to do.
Don't seem like much of an adaptable group.
I don't think anything's adaptable about us.
Well, we could adapt.
You think? Oh, that's kind of
You,
confident
you'll
of you.
be surprised by the human spirit and what it can do when it's forced to do something.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Have you found that out through various trials and
Through life.
tribulations?
Through life.
Have you let them go?
Let who go?
Whoever you were testing the will of.
I wasn't testing the will. Your own will gets tested.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
So you naturally have to adapt. That's what we've done as a species.
That makes sense.
It was helpful when the aliens got involved and genetically engineered us to a point to allow us to do so.
Oh, boy.
8:11 a.m.
Thank you, Anunnaki.
For,
Just saw that
for
coming.
to happen.
I feel like we walked into that one.
So yeah, my scooter PTSD led to alien talk. You're welcome.
Post-traumatic scooter disorder, he says Yale Hollander.
Oh, that fits so well. Okay. Maybe I do have it. I'll talk to Tom. See what he says. Maybe there's steps I could take. Maybe there's some tools in my toolbox that I could use to help me get through it.
Possibly.
I mean, what do you think's going to happen when your life flashes before your eyes like that?
In the scooter incident?
Yeah. You're
I feel
laying in the
like-
middle of the street, no one around but a car that decides to drive off.
I don't feel like it was life threatening. Like I think it was serious.
I was wearing my helmet. What if I wasn't wearing my helmet?
I think they advise that you should wear a helmet. It's like
do.
so I think it was
A
suggested.
lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't. Doesn't mean it's smart or right.
That's fair.
Oh.
Nice.
That's how it works.
Good job.
Oh, thank you. That's what I'm here
I
for.
applaud
Hey,
that.
thank you.
Seems to be working out well for everybody.
See, you
sorry,
then
I
you go
didn't-
and do something
I'm
dumbass
sorry,
like
I
that.
don't know. I
Yep.
couldn't help it.
That's how it goes.
God, can't you just learn to
No.
just stop at
I
some point?
wish I could.
I don't think you can. We'll have Jen Singleton in the 9:30 time slot today. Talk to her about some influencing. Maybe we can get Travis on board with a nice lipstick brand.
I wish I was cool to be an influencer.
We're gonna find out what it takes.
You're a YouTube influencer.
Socially
now.
inspired.
I wish I was really cool like those kids.
Let me tell you what. I was looking through that. The quality's crystal clear.
Yeah, quality's great.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, there are a lot of famous people in here, and this is awesome.
But you know what? I get that anxiety from when I was back in elementary school when
There
I
he is.
didn't have a ton of friends and I was learning to. I was part of the St. Louis DSEG program, so I grew up around a lot of black kids in the neighborhood, and then they gotta throw me out here with his bunch, if you know what I mean. Racist. And so then I had to learn on the fly. Kind of mess with me.
Did
Kids
you
were very
adapt?
mean. I eventually adapted, but the process was a bit of a
Shock to the system.
yeah, it was. Took a while. Man, it was like landing on Mars.
What was that like?
It was fine, but you couldn't help notice the differences.
What didn't you like?
How my parents weren't immediately accessible. Like my parents, because I was all the way out in the county, and they were living and working obviously in the city, it was just very difficult for them to make the trek out that way, like for field trips or class parties. And I always thought that was cool, seeing the other kids have their mom or their dad there.
Oh, this is sad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You don't ever
I did
like to
that.
get real.
So
with a
now
guy
when
like
I see,
Travis.
so now when I see the cool kids again on the YouTubes and they 75 million subscribers, and now we're trying to enter into that field, my anxiety returns. Like, oh man, I'm not the cool kid again.
Well, you don't
I have 3 subscribers,
Here's
2
the-
of them in this office.
Here's the thing. That's not who you need to be, though.
Oh, look at this. This is
You
inspiring.
don't need to be that.
Oh, okay.
You'll be happy if you're not that.
Oh,
You'll be just fine.
but I also
got
feel
each
I
other.
would be even happier if I did have it.
See, maybe your expectations of what you determine to be success should change.
I think you're correct. But
Lower
I
expectations.
can't.
No, we
Right
just
now.
work on it.
Okay. Because I believe this show is capable of having at least 200 subscribers.
Ooh.
I know. But then you stop and think about it and you go, do you even know 200 people? And I do not.
Yeah, you do.
Man,
You've been around.
It's gonna be like, hey, what's good, old dude? Hey, what's going on, bro? What's good, Ace? It's gonna be a lot of those though. Hey, producer dude who used to sleep during our show when we first started radio. Scott, there's Steve. See, give me a second.
I know, Steve. I like
See.
Steve the board op
So
got mad at me. Thought I snitched on him. They were like, "Hey, how are things going?" I go, "Well, not so great."
yeah, and it was a double
So wait,
barrel.
did you snitch on him?
I was just like, "Well," they were like, "What's wrong?" I was like, the board ops fell asleep like
Chris
3
snitched.
times.
Okay.
Oh, I remember
I just did.
we missed a call.
I
once. I
I,
remember that we had. Could you take live callers?
I understand
like-
your issue there,
Yeah.
and no, you're fine to say that, but the way you initially delivered it, though, he thought I snitched on him.
Yeah.
I think you did, but I think you're
But
in
it's
the
not
right
snitching.
to.
It's like
I think you're in the right to do so.
Yeah,
See,
here's
I would say snitching would be going out of your way to tell on somebody
Okay.
for something that really had nothing to do with you. This particular instance
has
was
something to do
It's
with
not
it.
snitching because you were asked.
It wasn't.
I was
wasn't.
asked, and it was more of a this
Yeah.
isn't getting done, and it's being paid for.
Nah, yeah, Chris was in the right. He
No,
was,
and I'm saying
he had
you're
to,
in
he
the
didn't,
right.
he didn't
It's
go
just-
like, hey, man, he was like, ooh, he didn't do that kind of shit. He was just like, it was kind of like, yo, man, we not the world's most professional people, but we want to kind of eventually get close to the point where our parents can respect us in doing this. And in order for us to at least be taken seriously,
Yeah.
it's important that everybody who's supposed to be
Your
awake is awake.
your return music for every break should have been "Wake Up" by Arcade Fire.
be good,
Seeing if it
yeah.
would have been a subtle message sent.
The awkward part about that, though, so then I kind of gotta be the heavy, because now the black people in the office are asking Travis, did your white co-host snitch on the black guy?
Did
Is that
they?
how it went?
It kind of put a lot of pressure on me. I
The
handled it
black
well.
people.
Oh, you did.
I think I came
The
out it
60-year-old man
unscathed.
who had a full-time daytime job.
I mean, but he was working hard, and he was an
Oh, I
old
wasn't
black
ma- yeah.
man. And so it was like I had to walk a fine line, like
You
as
see
an old black
yourself
man,
in him
but
at some
also
point.
old black man. Yeah, it was like it was looking
Like
at Travis
now.
in 25, 50 years.
Or no, now I mean sleeping
Right,
at work.
Chris,
or-
I've never.
I take a
I
nap
don't-
here and there.
I don't think
yeah.
I've taken a siesta here at work. I don't think I've taken one.
You haven't taken a nap at all?
I've taken a nap, but I don't
Yeah.
think
Here?
I've taken one here.
I haven't.
I
don't
take
think I've
15-minute naps here and there.
No. If I get that tired, then I'm just gonna take my black ass home. But no, it's never naps on the job. I don't think I've ever. No,
Your bus waiting has contributed to that.
Yeah.
You got nowhere to be.
So I'll sneak 50. I just close my eyes for 15 minutes.
isn't
just to
that?
rest
But
my eyelids.
isn't it a little bit freeing though?
What?
Just taking public transportation.
I kind of like it.
It's very therapeutic.
Here I am thinking you're being abused and on some 2-hour trek to the office, and you told me your bus commute is 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes.
That's absurd.
If there's like not a lot of stops, if no.
That early, I'm sure there's less stops.
Yeah, I get picked up at 6:30, like a block away from my apartment, and get dropped a block and a half away from work.
You're the urban dream.
Like my route is a dream for morning
yeah,
and getting
definitely.
to and from work.
Yeah,
For not
absolutely.
being
Now-
millennial, do you realize how millennial you are?
Now, how far is your walk from the apartment to the bus stop?
It's a block.
So you just a little
Look,
walk.
I
up the
live a-
So
block.
after
I
he
like
catches his
I
breath
live
for
a
20
block.
minutes.
Yeah. I live a block away from the cathedral.
it. You do.
I live like a
Get your mask.
And and that's a nice neighborhood to walk through. I would imagine in the morning.
and I do my high knees now in the morning on my
Okay.
walk to try and loosen up the knees some. And if I'm out the door by 6:25, that's ideal. I can probably push it to 6:27 if I'm running 2 minutes late. If the process is broken down for some reason, maybe I needed to go back and straighten a rug or something like that.
right.
And catch the bus at about 6:30, 6:32.
Okay.
That's perfect. It's fine. What I don't have a great command of is the other routes yet necessarily.
I just think public transportation is just so relaxing. Like, but I guess like I was telling this to someone the other night. I was like, I've been like driving forever. I've been driving like I could not wait to get my permit. I got my permit when I was legally capable of getting. I got my license the day of my birthday. Ran out and got it. Like I was driving right away. But living out in North County, having friends in West County, family in the city, like it's just so much driving over time, and especially driving in St. Louis. Driving in St. Louis is it shouldn't be a pain in the ass, but it finds its way to be a pain in the ass, which makes it a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like if you're driving in a city that has traffic and volume, then you expect there to be terrible driving because there are just so many more people on the road. We're here in St. Louis, population not that dense. Like it just seems like it's so spread out,
but there's
and then
still-
there's enough highways for people to get to where they need to go, and still
Well-
it's terrible traffic and terrible driving. St. Louis for highways does pretty well for a major city.
It does okay, yeah. I mean,
Considering my brother has like a 2-hour commute
Right.
daily, in
And he has
Southern-
a
Southern
highway.
California.
yeah.
As an option. Like he doesn't have multiple options where he can go to in order to get to work. Where in St. Louis, for me to get to the city, there are 3, 4 viable ways to get here.
Yeah, especially if you're centrally located, you have that benefit.
Right.
Which is like when I was driving around in a car, which is why I liked where I am now in the Central West End, among other things. Somehow Big Bend and 40, no matter what you do, even if you redo it, rethink it,
This is me.
reimagine it, it still is going to do
And
the
this
same
is me
thing.
every time because the driving is just so pitiful. I know I've said this on the radio side and plenty of times on the podcast side, but it's just so to the point where it really creates anxiety for me. And so now I would, again, I don't know if you guys knew this, but being an international screenwriter in New York, I had to take a lot of public transportation.
Your
And-
Facebook page, by the way, still says you live in New York.
Does it?
I just noticed that
Oh.
the other day.
Oh, well, my heart does.
Weird,
But-
your heart and Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
If it's that big
Yeah,
to
it's,
be living there, you probably want to go to the doctor.
That could be an issue.
But it's something relaxing about being in a city where everyone has to be reliant. Like it kind of makes you a community. It kind of connects you again with life because you're so detached when you're driving because you're just trying to avoid getting hit and trying to get to where you're going.
You have to deal with people.
Yes. And so we're in a public transportation setting. You're sitting back. You're seeing the people around you. I don't know. It just feels exhilarating to be
It's like-
in the human experience
mentioned
where in
the-
a car you're in a canister.
The guy before, every time when I'm smoking my first cigarette of the day out in front of our building here, there's a guy that's jogging by right after he lets his daughter get on the bus for school. I now recognize people on the bus in the morning. There's a guy that gets off at my stop every time.
Right.
We always say hello to each other now.
All right.
There's a guy that gets on at what is it, Boyle and Lindell, that I say hi to every morning now. So it does in a way. You have your little crew because you're on the same schedule in the morning.
And it kind of forces you, and though I'm a person that rolls my eyes at small talk because it gets just so mundane so quickly, but it does kind of force you to
Liberal
engage.
elitist.
It does force you to engage with a human being, where inside of a canister, everybody's just a missile and you want to kill, where when you're out in the public transportation, you're just like, oh, hello. And
We're
that
in the- we're in
little
this
interaction, and exactly. And we kind of, if we're being honest as a society, we need a little bit more, again, light human interaction. Doesn't have to be, hey, let's hang out for a Super Bowl Sunday. It can be, hello, I hope you have a good day. That little bit, I think we just need that back in
There's
our
an
lives.
old white lady with a red bandana that gets on at the same stop,
Mm.
gets dropped off, and she always says, "Thank you, bus driver," as she gets off the bus.
Yeah, it's everybody figuring it out. Like it's everybody just, no one is on a public transportation who has life made, but it's everyone who you just kind of relate and go, oh yeah, we're all going through it. We're doing the best we damn can do. Because if you're up in the morning on public transportation in any city, then you're trying, damn it. You're that part of society that's like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to keep trying. And you kind of need that in society now. So that's why I love public transportation. That's my essay.
We are feel goods today.
I know. I just.
All the feels.
Oh, let's see.
And then you go and do. You
shoot.
just.
My timing's off again.
No, it has been
Ah,
for
my bad.
30 plus years.
Ugh.
Unbelievable.
That was fun.
My God. Nice little talk, and then you go and doing something like that. You know, I did realize too, like, because I was about to take the bus over to comedy on Thursday.
Now that's a nice little quick trip.
Now I was trying to figure out what it was. I'm like, man, is this going to be easy? How do I get down Kings Highway? It's one bus.
Yeah.
It was a 10-minute ride. I was looking at the thing, but I was just a little off on the timing, so I took an Uber over there.
But yeah, I think
But like even to get over there is going to be just fine. I'm like, oh, I try the 95 next time. I'm gonna
You gotta
figure
figure
it
it
out.
out,
I'm
yeah.
trying to. I mean, I haven't had to do a whole bunch of transferring or anything. Now that's going to be an issue, but we'll figure that out when we get there.
yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
Oh boy, don't say that when it comes to you.
Oh, okay.
Now we know. Oh, he did the microphone thing. That's kind of weird.
I know. It
Uh,
felt weird.
Yeah, right? Wasn't
Why
empowering.
do you do that?
You looked really strange.
Yeah, I felt weird.
Did we have a melee we needed to get to? Some results for that?
We had one from last week
Oh, wow. Okay.
that we never got to.
Well, let's get some results on that bad boy.
Which of these tunes is Smash Mouth's best
Oh,
song?
Uh,
God.
And this was a tight poll.
Apparently, it looks like you may have been the vote that put it over the top.
It was All Star or Walking on the Sun with 51% to 49%. All Star takes it.
And I just want to quickly say this. I would imagine they're very nice guys. Probably great family men.
What?
People I would
How do you
probably
know?
befriend. I don't know. I don't know Smash Mouth personally, obviously.
Well, that's all you have to say.
Okay. Yeah.
But they are the worst band, and that is the worst music ever. Ever.
I don't know.
And look, congratulations on their
See, that's
success.
pretty
And again, I don't want to
declarative.
be personal because I'm sure, again, they seem like they probably get back to the community, probably coaches their kids' soccer, but they make awful, horrible music.
You said ever, though. That's pretty declarative.
Okay, that is. In the
We've
last,
had this talk before.
you're right. In the last 250 years,
They're game-changing bad.
200 years, it's the worst music of the last 200 years.
Oh, no. Have you heard Lee Greenwood?
Let me tell you something. We've got some comments to get to, and it's about commutes.
Oh boy.
I have another poll, if I could put that
Yeah,
out
I'd
there
love
real
to see
quick.
that.
I
Just
bet you
because
do.
I don't have the image for this one, but I put a poll out last night on my Twitter account asking, are you excited to see Nicolas Cage star as Nicolas Cage in a movie about Nicolas Cage? Hashtag I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence. 68% yes,
Oh!
32% no.
Oh, wow. Who are those no fun-loving
Yeah,
bastards?
F them.
Probably
Uh-huh.
Ben Fredrickson. Bet
we-
you it's Ben Fredrickson.
Probably fucking hayseed hack.
Well, get his ass. Yeah.
I'm going to take him. We need to do a Traview of the Scott Joplin house and take him with us. Since his hometown of Sedalia likely killed Ragtime.
Syphilis. It was in the air that spring.
Yeah, some sort of STD at one of the whorehouses there.
From the Black Sheep, my wife had a 55-minute commute to work. So we sold our house and built one 10 miles north of Jefferson City to get her closer. 3 months after completing the house, she's accepted a job in southern Jefferson City.
Jeez. Jeez.
Women drive the decisions. For
55
sure.
minutes. That's like,
That's bad.
I used
that's
to
ass.
drive.
A commute. Damn, that's 2 hours in the car every day. That's
for
exhausting.
Jeff City.
That's
You're not saying,
exhausting.
well, I live in Chicago.
Yeah, I've done that. I used to commute from Columbia down to Jeff City
Ooh.
when I worked for the legislature. And that was
45
brutal,
minute
man.
drive,
That's
right?
brutal. It's a 25-minute drive, 30-minute drive,
I used
30-minute drive tops definitely.
I used to drive from O'Fallon to downtown
Yeah, one
I
highway
was at-
in, one highway out.
when I was at KMOX. And you would hit traffic sometimes with it. And then, I mean, that's an hour.
Yeah.
And then making that drive back, sometimes it would be like 2 in the morning
Yeah.
driving back home.
I never hung out in Jeff City for that reason because
Ugh.
ain't nobody trying to stay in Jeff City to 1:30 in the morning and drive back to Columbia. You crazy? Hell no. And I didn't know any scallywags like that back
Oh,
in Jeff
yeah.
City. And I wasn't trying to get to Jeff City scallywags.
no.
You didn't want no part of that.
I need to get to the old penitentiary there.
It's really cool. That is really neat. It's
Is there
just
still a brewery in it?
Brewery?
There's a brewery
there
by
is
it.
a brewery by it.
Oh.
There's
Prison
a brewery,
Brews.
Prison Brews.
Oh. Prison.
Tom Brown. I remember that. It's really fun to name your beer after depression that you get when you're in prison.
Right.
Tom Brown remembers the days of using public transport while living in Chicago. Really helped him connect with humanity. Like the hobo shitting on the train, or
yes.
the ex-gangbanger screaming about Jesus or being scrunched next to people who didn't shower. Humanity.
Okay, it's not
I
perfect.
I touched a woman.
he does make a point.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. I wanna
Okay,
make sure I
let's. Oh
phrase this
boy,
right.
all views expressed
Back
by
this
Chris
up.
Gardner.
I stopped someone from doing something on the bus last week, and physically put my hands on their back to stop them from doing something. What was happening? I was going to sit down. I noticed a small puddle of liquid on a seat.
Oh no,
So I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. We'll just
leave it be.
leave it be for now. And then a lady got on and she wasn't paying attention and she was getting ready to sit down. And I actually leaned forward
Okay.
and put my hands on her back.
And what'd
Like
she
normally
do?
I would not go up to someone and just put my hands on them.
Right.
But I saw this happening directly in front of me and I'm like, this
can't be-
I can't.
yeah, you
I
can't let this happen.
This
Right.
cannot happen. And I go, "Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. You don't want to sit there. There's a puddle there. I don't know what it is." And she was, "Oh, okay, thank you." But
Saved
like,
her day.
yeah, but like normally I'm not going to go up to
Right.
someone and be like, "Hey!"
But
But my hands immediately just went, "No."
But see how it forced you even in that moment to be human?
Mm-hmm.
So we need that. You need that kind of interaction. Because even when you get to work, you don't have it. Because again, you still have your blinders on. You're just trying to get your job done and get the freak out of there.
Yeah.
And so you will go throughout an entire day, sometimes an entire week without some humanity. And I think it's important that we have that again, and public
Now,
transportation
Travis,
can
you
provide
have to
that.
remember this, and that's fine, and I understand what you're saying.
And I hate people. That's
But-
crazy, right?
Yeah.
But that's also, I mean, part of why I make phone calls at times. And I know people are getting more and more annoyed with that as time goes on.
Right.
Is because you have to talk to someone
Yes, that's fair.
instead of just texting, which loses a sense of personal communication
Right.
a lot of times.
Right.
And a lot of things can get lost.
Right.
And you're communicating with hieroglyphics at times, it seems. Whatever this eggplant, water squirt, whatever that might be.
Okay.
Gotcha.
No one's
Travis sends me all the time. I don't know.
I
what
don't. I just send them a few cucumbers.
Okay.
We got more comments. For every "How's your day?" on the bus, there's 3 teens playing YouTube at full volume
Yeah, that's also
and a
true.
mariachi band.
Yes, that is.
It's from Fancy Foyer.
That
Is
is
that in
also true.
Chicago?
That
Or?
is true.
Oh, no.
It's Fancy Foyer.
I've never seen a band on the bus, and I don't see a lot of teens, actually.
That's a good point. The kids can be much.
They
However,
can't- you know, I
again, it's like that's how we.
I see that more
to
on
an extent
Metrolink
like that
than on
when
the
we were
bus.
kids. Yeah, I see that a lot on the metro. I think it's just there are moments, yeah, where you're on the metro and you're just like, seriously, 12 hours. I got to get to another station, then drive home. Don't piss me off. Just don't touch me. You can do your thing on the train, but just leave me the hell alone.
I still don't get understand the blaring music on your phone.
I'll
on a
never
train.
understand
It's
it, but I
weird.
now know where I am in life, and so it's not my place to understand
just
it
try not
anymore.
to involve.
Exactly.
That's where I zone out and look out the
Exactly.
window.
That's it. And again, that's a level of humanity as well. Sometimes we need a level of restraint. Sometimes because we're so free on the computers where we just talking all mad shit. Well, you can't talk all mad shit when you're on a Metrolink
I will.
with 14 teenagers.
Get worked over by a couple of rough 13-year-olds.
Probably.
Boy. And
Time
they-
for a wall road trip to Jeff City. I'll take you on a guided tour of the Yale Hollander childhood home. And that's not code for Central Dairy.
Oh,
It's from
Central
Yale.
Dairy. I went by there last time when I put that posted on the wall of the Capitol.
Game changer that day. That was a game changer.
That was, okay, that was.
There you go.
We
Proper
have a prison
usage.
update.
Okay.
Oh,
Did you know this? The the prison was hit by the tornado just after Jeff said he had spent a couple $100,000
Damn.
sprucing it up.
Damn.
the old prison?
They had just voted and spent a couple $100,000 fixing it up. I guess it's a tourist attraction.
Yeah, it's a big
It
tourist
is. Well, it's
attraction for
haunted.
Jeff City. Yeah.
Um,
Big this time of year. People get a ton of tours.
Ghost tours.
It is
Ghost Adventures might have been there. I can't remember.
Have you ever? So we've spoke to our friend Lacey obviously before, and she gives like legit like historical tours around St. Louis. Have you ever been on? Did you see that orb kind of a tour? Like, oh, look over there. kind of like a, look, we might see something.
What kind of hillbilly shit is this?
No, I don't think so.
No. Have you been on a ghost tour?
Yeah, in Alton.
How'd it go?
It was fun. Went to the cemetery at night.
I don't know about that. I'll do ghost tours. I'm not doing a cemetery. That feels disrespectful.
Went to,
I'll do everything else in your ghost tour, but I'm not doing that. That feels a little bit too much.
why is it disrespectful?
Because it's one thing to go in somebody's house that they used to stay in, but it's another thing to go where they're buried. That's just a little bit extra. Kind of disrespectful of the passing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sure their families would say otherwise, but who am I to judge?
well, I mean, they're tours. I did a self-guided cemetery tour during the day before
You self-guided.
with a brochure.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
interesting.
Okay.
You learned a lot. You'll learn a lot.
Maybe military places, like to in honor, I would be okay for, but otherwise, I don't want to step on anybody's cemetery plot without.
You don't
Permission.
You don't go and just walk through the graves.
I'm not saying walk through the grave, just.
You stay in areas that are on paths and stuff.
But I feel like it's their time to rest. Like, hey man, rest in peace.
think
I'm trying to
they're
rest in
resting?
peace. You
You
want
think
somebody
they're
walking?
resting?
I'm just saying, you think somebody walking through their living room? Like, would you like that if
The
you were just
ghost is
sleeping?
up. Is it resting? It probably wants to talk and communicate.
Oh boy.
So that's okay. We also went to. Was it a Mason? It wasn't a Mason house. There was some sort of one of those club type things over there, and then the McPike Mansion, which I do know has been on Ghost Adventures. And you go in the basement in there.
Right.
There's a cellar with a big metal door, and you close the metal door. You're sitting in chairs, and you
Shit out of Saw.
turn out all the lights,
Oh boy.
and then you just sit there for a little bit
I
and
don't know
try
about
and.
that. I don't know.
Not feeling that?
I don't know about that.
You should go on one with me.
I don't know.
Tommy, you and I could go.
I don't know about that. If we get some GoPro.
Tommy was talking about going to a place over there, the Mineral Springs Motel, which is, oh boy.
Okay.
Scary?
They got there's like a death in the pool there at one time, ooh.
So how can someone
Rumored,
like yourself?
rumored to be demonic.
How can someone like yourself who acknowledges they have certain anxiety, how
Yeah.
can they put them in anxiety-induced situations? Why do you run towards the chaos? Why do you run towards something that you know internally
'Cause that's how I
will
learn.
cause you constant consternation?
Yeah, that's how I learn. That's how I adjust. That's how you adapt. You have to feel it.
Have you though?
No, not yet.
Okay,
Which
I
is
feel
why
like-
maybe I'm constantly running towards it.
Don't. Can we stop?
No.
But see, we made the point yesterday. See how he ran towards the elevator, put his hand inside the elevator. I reserve the right to run away.
Well, my arm is in there.
Yes, you chose to enter into the chaos. Who am I to follow you towards your own doom?
Simple, a coward.
I'm not following. Look, I may have performed a cowardly act, but it was
No, may have.
honest.
It was honest.
And it was
Honestly sad.
understood in the sense that you didn't have to put your damn hand in there to begin with.
It was understood that you are a coward.
If you want to play Frogger in traffic and you get hit and I don't immediately run to help you, it's my fault?
No,
you
I-
shouldn't
I'm
have ran
not
out in traffic.
I'm not saying it's your fault that I got hit.
Okay.
I'm just saying that your response is cowardly.
Okay.
That's all.
I wouldn't say.
I'm not calling you a coward for not following me. For simply not helping and running away from the situation as well. I'm calling you a coward.
Well, I didn't think I was my role to help
Why?
because liabilities.
If I were black, would you have helped?
Well, we don't live in hypotheticals. So we don't ever have to worry about this situation.
It's philosophical. It's a philosophical
I would have
question.
I would have related.
Would your response have been different?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Does that really sounds like a yes to me?
Well, I could relate more to a black person's
Oh.
pain. Because in that moment, while the hand is jammed in the elevator door, I'm thinking, police brutality. So I know right away in that moment, I need to pull them out of that situation like I want to pull the police off the backs of the people in my community.
So you wanted me to feel your pain.
I wanted you to understand the fear.
And so the only way to do that was for you to be a coward and run away.
Yes,
and
I
allow
wanted
me-
you to understand what fear is like. And I was showing you an example of fear.
It was a teaching moment.
It was a teaching moment. I was showing like, guard, to see how I'm scared? That's why you be cautious. And so I figured in that moment you learn a lesson.
Travis, I'm sorry then. I apologize
Wow.
for calling you a coward.
Thank you.
Do you ever just want to go, because you're so worn out? Do you ever just wear yourself out?
I don't.
I mean, the mental gymnastics you just
that
went
was
through.
no
Yeah.
gymnastics.
That was a
there,
pommel
guys.
horse. I mean,
don't
that was a whole
understand. At
floor
least
routine,
I'm
the
just-
pommel horse,
I'm keeping
the-
it 100.
The rings, that was all.
Guys,
Oof.
I'm just keeping it 100.
At least I can lean on some very telling information from listeners. There are ghost tours, and there is a story about hearing a loud sound and then a bird falling dead from a cell where a guy killed himself. Some say it was the sound the ghost. Some say the bird's dumbass just hit a window. And others believe the loud sound was just telling the batter an off-speed pitch was coming. This is tour in Houston.
Scare you?
Change up.
Slider.
That story has what do you say? Picked up momentum.
As it
I
should.
think there's going to be some pretty serious
As it should, man. I think
astrology.
AJ Hinch.
What's your sign?
I think AJ Hinch. If I really wanted to, that's a whole year.
For him,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
even though
He-
it was
he-
probably
You
think it's his call?
You think the manager has no clue
I could you
that
imagine
guy's in his
hearing,
dugout.
hearing that regularly,
Right.
and he's like, "What is going on?
Is it me?
We need to get this
Every
looked
time
at."
I'm at Minute Maid, I talk to the custodians
I
about
saw
it.
a new wrinkle in it too last night,
Oh,
and I don't.
really?
It's a little bit of a rumor, so I don't know exactly. I think it was New York Times, New York Post, something like that. One of the New York papers reporting
The
that
Globe.
that possibly
Right.
they could have been using buzzers in bandages as
Oh,
well, like
boy.
on their person, so that it would buzz once for fastball, twice for changeup. So that's a possibility now too. Is something I had read.
Ooh.
I think AJ Hinch either gets. I mean, look, man, if it's that deep, it's that intricate, then I think you're looking at massive fines
But
for
is
the
this-
Astros.
But is this like whenever
You're going. You cross. There's a line.
when Kenny Rogers got busted for the substance in the World Series, and Tony La Russa was like, "Just keep playing, because his pitchers probably did it too.
This is different.
Okay.
This is.
No one.
You're using technology, no less. Like you're talking about sludge or tar. Who gives a shit? But now you're talking about intricate apparatuses and people in the outfield and signals being sent in and spy cameras behind.
But I'm saying, is it common in other clubhouses? Like, are all clubhouses going? Sounds a lot like what we do.
I
It
feel
does
like
not
if that was the
seem
case,
like,
does it seem like I
the
said,
response has been different.
yeah, I feel like Fires wouldn't have just singled out the Astros if that was the case. If it was such a prominent thing, why he would then just pick solely on the Astros. It makes me believe not only are the Astros maybe one of the few teams who do it, but probably one of the most aggressive teams who do it. And I think
The
again,
point's been made too, like how their front office has treated people
yeah,
has come back to bite them
Yeah,
as well. Like
yeah.
especially with the scouts that they
Yeah.
let go, and not only letting them go, but how they let them go,
Mm-hmm.
because the scouts are coming out and talking now. So
and
it's
then
just
and
like-
then it definitely you're coming off the tail end of a World Series that was a PR embarrassment for your organization when you had your assistant GM out here just being a complete ass to women reporters who weren't doing anything to you about a situation that was, for all intents and purposes, over with. People weren't even really talking about it anymore, at least not in that context. So it's just right now, Houston, there's some bad juju behind them, and I would have to say Hench gets a year, maybe aggressive, at least half a year. Loon Howe, man, I think the best way you hurt a guy like him, you take away a couple of first-round draft picks for the next couple of years and some of that international pool money for the next few
yeah,
years.
something will happen. I don't know
You
exactly
definitely.
what.
Do you think the integrity of the game though is challenged when this happens?
I think I'm the worst person to ask about this stuff because I assume they're all full of shit
Cheating.
and cheating. You know.
I think
think-
Byers makes a point about the players who were directly affected. I think I
It
buy
does
that
suck,
argument.
yeah, because you think about
That does suck. You
so
you
on
are a
that
kid,
note,
20,
yeah.
21 years old, coming up to the minors. You have great stuff in AAA. You get a chance at the big leagues, and then you go to Houston and you get absolutely rocked on your best stuff, and that's because they had a decidedly large advantage on you.
And the Red Sox got hit for using the Apple,
Watches.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
That's
so-
that's why I think like even so I know this is way more intricate, and Black Sheep reminds us that on the World Series video they're setting up a computer and a table in the background
Yeah.
to do that. But I was like, there's always been sign stealing going on, even if it's a guy at
Yeah, but
second
this is
going
different.
to the right.
This
If
is
it's
different.
a you know,
It's-
so.
But we're talking like
categorically
Oh,
different.
listen! In the name of Correa, I want this. I want to. Oh,
Well, yeah, and
look
that's
who
the
gets to
thing
play.
is that where baseball wants to attack what's happening is advancements in technologies and
Right.
people using that to cheat,
Right.
which they did so with Correa.
Right,
So they
right.
have to do something here if they want to send that message.
And you
Was
got to tamp it
Astroglide
down.
involved? Tom Brown asked.
You got to tamp it down quickly too. You don't want to just be completely empathetic to every little thing, because every little thing will turn into a big thing, and you can look at a situation where it truly hurts the overall integrity of the sport. And this just doesn't sit like someone in the dugout, sending signals, or someone in the bullpen, relaying messages. This is like planned out Mission Impossible style, type of shit that just seems unnecessary for them to win. They have a very good team.
I mean, next the Astros scouting department is going to be full of former CIA operatives.
But right. It's just weird. It's just.
Why do you have all these defense contractors coming?
Well,
in
my
here?
thing is, if
Hey,
Loonhow,
how do we really get an advantage here? Okay, let's get personal investigators and follow their other team around on the road, get incriminating photos of them, and then extort them. Because that's using technology and looking to gain an advantage, right?
if they were doing it for scouting metrics, it's one thing, but real time, it just feels.
I mean, the
raw,
Astros,
man.
the Astros do it so much, and this goes to part of what Chris is thinking, that they got in trouble for placing a guy in a camera well in the opposing dugout,
Yeah.
taking pictures because they were calling it a counterintelligence effort. Because so if that's why they were doing that,
Yeah.
imagine what they're doing themselves.
Yeah.
Next time you scream at a player for wanting another year or another $5 million that he gets to play a kids game, remember this. Remember this. They're deploying intelligence units to steal pitches, not even to guarantee wins, just to get a chance at one better at bat to improve their statistics of winning each game. Wake up, sheeple.
Oh,
Oh shit!
Sheeple.
It's been a while since I hit
Like
with a
that?
sheeple. That was nice.
Sheeple.
That was
I'll
good.
say lizard people, you don't watch it.
That was good for.
Yeah.
Speaking of the sheeple, Chris,
Oh, please.
who are these sheeple who believe that marijuana truly is a gateway drug?
Well, he's your presidential candidate.
You would be correct. Joe Biden says he won't legalize marijuana because it may be a gateway drug.
Nice graphic,
That is
Gardner.
really good. Look at you showing off.
Joe Biden looking earnestly at a stack of
Looks like,
marijuana.
Daddy, bring it home. Speaking at a town hall in Las Vegas on this past Saturday, the 2020 Democratic presidential candidate said whether the U.S. should legalize cannabis on a federal level is still up for debate as far as he is concerned. The truth of the matter is there's not nearly been enough evidence that it's been acquired as to whether or not it is a gateway drug. It's a debate, and I want a lot more before I legalize it nationally.
Like he needs to smoke a lot more.
I want to.
Like I'm gonna be honest, player. I could use another hog leg.
I want to make sure we know a lot more about the
been a-
science.
there's been a lot of
There's
evidence
literally
gathered.
Decades of evidence
Like I don't know.
on the
maybe
record.
maybe the origin of why it's bad. Maybe the fact that garter snakes have killed more people than weed. Like what? Like I don't know, man.
This is not only that. It's
Quite
just
a bit of data.
not only that. Like my thing is, it's a question. A working side a campaign, you kind of see the innards. So the question is,
Stand up there, Travis.
So
Let's give you a round of
so the
applause.
question is, oh God, like even going off the cuff, even like there should have been a marijuana answer. in 2020 debate, you should have a marijuana answer. You're going to be the leading front runner for the Democratic National Party. You should have an answer for marijuana. That's a given. So for this to be his answer just lets me know how poorly prepared Joe Biden is for a national campaign. If you can't answer the mundane marijuana question as the Democrat, you're not ready to be the leader of the Democratic Party.
Your answer probably shouldn't include gateway drug.
Gateway drug.
Your answer, if it's anything other than, come on, man, then you're wrong.
This is. I don't blame Joe actually on this. This is kind of crazy. I blame.
Sounded like you were.
I blame his aides. This is the campaign manager
no.
and the
Why
aides'
would he
fault.
run for this poor man?
I
When
blame
did he
them.
contract it?
I didn't realize what you were
Oh.
saying at first. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
His aides, guys.
I know. I don't know why my mind went there.
Nevertheless,
I'm sorry.
What a bad answer.
I'm apologizing.
Well, maybe he'll get sympathy votes. I
No,
don't know.
it's a bad answer, Joe. Like, Joe, I want you, if Joe is the nominee, so be it. I just need you to be strong and capable going into the national general campaign. And these answers are just, they let me know that your apparatus isn't ready for the big leagues. They're not ready. They don't have, this is a bad answer.
It's okay.
This is just a really
It's not
bad
your fault.
answer. This is like Obama's initial Reverend Wright answer. That would, like, you could do better. You should have an answer for this. Come on, Joe.
Like this one's an easy one.
This one is like, for a Democrat, this is as close to a layup as you're going to get in a season of really contentious issues. Because not only are Democrats on board for more legalization and commercialization of marijuana, so are more Republicans. So this isn't even a partisan issue. One of the few left in this country that isn't partisan. So why are you trying to make it one? Like, Joe, shut up and just go with the wave.
This ain't the hill.
Go with the wave, bro. Just, that's where everybody's going. All right, then I'm going with them. Like, this whole kick to be moderate Democrats, it's starting to, Joe's going to eat, man. I'm telling you, man, Trump's going to eat you out for lunch. He's going to eat you out for lunch, man.
Are you, do you have any clue
He's going to eat you out
what
for lunch.
Trump would do to him in a...
I know. I already know, man.
On a daily...
Oh,
like,
man.
If they're out on the campaign trail together.
Oh, man, it's easy because
He'll smash
Oh,
him.
Joe Biden isn't...
Well, let me tell you something, Dad. No, I'll tell you something.
And Joe
That's gonna
Biden,
be-
I think, would be a very good president. I think he's a terrible candidate. I think he would be a very strong president. I honestly do. But I think he's just a poor candidate that
Yeah,
translates.
but he'd win still.
Look, if I just want him to
He'd
reduce.
win. He'd win by over 5%.
Really?
It is so curious to me how confident you are in that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I see things.
I will say this: the recent elections in Kentucky and Louisiana certainly could be telling us something.
It's done.
They could be telling us something. I don't know. I'm not Chris. I'm not saying it's in
No,
the bag.
I'm laughing at Gardner's.
Oh, saying it's done.
Just
No,
I
I'm
mean,
not-
for someone that keeps an eye on people's ego, boy, there's a lot of.
I want these Democratic.
It's dangerous.
I want these
I
nominees,
think
these
people are
potential
just creating
nominees.
A little drama here.
I think I want the
over.
nominees to
They want the ratings to go up.
avoid the unforced errors. That's all. They're not going to be perfect on the campaign trail, and we're not always going to agree with their positions. But I think there are times where you got to be able to hit the hanging curve if you're going to have a career in Major League Baseball. If you're going to, you
Why
know
are
that
you making fun of Harrison Bader?
I know. I apologize. I just think Trump is going. This guy has let you know that if he survives, first of all, if he survives this impeachment, and he doesn't lose too many within his circle,
All Joe has to do is play into the sleepy Joe Biden role that Trump has named, and so whenever just let
white
Trump,
men do
just,
love them some Joe Biden. That's
just-
all I will say.
Just
It's
let
up.
Trump go on his rant in front of you, and then you just go, "Oh, you done?"
Here's what I will say. It comes down.
Ball
and,
game.
and it really isn't an
I think you're
argument for
highly
me to have.
underestimating,
It's
Trump's
not.
a
But no, I think Chris.
savage, man.
No, I think Chris. To your
He
point,
is.
I'm
He's
eliminating
a
my
lousy
people.
rat buster motherfucker.
I'm leaving the women out.
working.
I'm leaving the people of color out. This isn't a fight for us. We've already made our decision. It's between you guys. It's between the white males in America. It has nothing. No, I kid you not. It has nothing else to do with us and what we think. I think
I
women,
think Kanye
people of color,
would have something to say about that.
outside of Kanye, have made their point clear that if the election were today, it's a given who they're not going to vote for. So at this point, there's only one demographic left in America that's still like, I don't know, man. It's white males.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay,
over.
that's whatever
It's
you guys say. So I'm
We'll see
taking
how it goes.
I'm taking my cue and observations in 2020 from you guys. You tell me the lay of the land in Farmington. You tell me the lay of the land in Central West End, because
lived
those
in
are
the
the
city
people
of
who are
St.
going to
Louis for
ultimately decide
8 years.
the 2020 president. You guys are going to be the ones. I
8
wish I
years.
could. I wish I could say otherwise.
I live in a very strange place. Guys, that's been the first hour. Big thanks to Tech Electronics for the love in the studio. What you got there?
Can I
Garner?
mention one other thing while
Yeah.
we were talking about the marijuana
Yeah.
gateway drug, Joe Biden? I did see this tweet that made me laugh. From Best Cow. I know a lot of people are attacking Biden over this, and I get that he's wrong in terms of actual available data. But for me, marijuana was a gateway drug to ordering a telescope online that I forgot I bought until halfway through a conversation with my bank's fraud division.
So funny. So funny.
That's one of the best tweets I've seen. And I haven't been on Twitter in a while, but
And
that's
that-
a brilliant tweet.
That feels real.
That is very real.
Where you're like, listen, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not. Oh.
Because we all felt that. We all felt that. Now, sometimes it's alcohol with people. I used to do that with Amazon, where I would come home after a night at the bar and just like, oh, yeah, I need a brand new podcast recording equipment. I'm going to do this podcast on Monday. And then you're just like, man, why did I spend $275? I went there. Oh. And that
Fraud
podcast.
department's like, listen, this is the
This
fourth
is-
call
this
I've
is-
taken. It was a rough.
Like, what do you do when you're on the phone with them and you realize you did it? Like, that's the moment you're like,
You kind of
How
have
do I
to
get out of this?
You kind of have to rework. Now you said when it was purchased. You know
I'll review
what?
it. I'll review it and
I
get
thought
back.
I said it was purchased last Thursday. So yeah, that probably was me purchasing that. You know, I'm not even gonna worry about it because I got it like that. But yeah, don't worry about that charge. You know what? It's whatever. It's just whatever. You know, don't worry your charge. What's your name again, Bradley? Bradley, I'm going to fill out a survey because you were so helpful today. You were so good to me today, Bradley. I tell you, I appreciate it. You have a good one, Bradley. All right. Fuck! That's how that conversation, that's exactly how it went.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. If you haven't checked out the YouTube stream yet, it's in the comments. You can check that out. Crystal clear. Our buddy Birch thanking us because now he's got our big mugs on his big screen.
Nice.
So, Oh, no.
I'm hopping on the big screen.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Put me on the big screen, huh? On your big screen.
live on YouTube and Facebook. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
We are live, live, live. We are live, live, live. We are live, live, live. We are live.
Wow, 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 yeah. We're back.
Oh, wow. That's just what we do all break. Travis does air guitar.
Yep.
We're back in the studio that Tech Electronics helped us build, techelectronics.com for more information. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for subscribing, checking us out. Crystal clear. We're on big screens throughout the nation, or at least one in southeast Missouri.
Out the nation. Okay. Okay.
And Facebook, why haven't you hit share yet? There's all kinds of things to get to today. We've got a state trying to compete with Missouri, it feels like. And then this hour, we'll be joined by Jen Singleton and friend from Socially Inspired. We're going to teach Travis some influencer tricks of the trade. Gardner, we had just mentioned this.
Yeah.
You look troubled.
So it's okay. Happens once a week. at
What
least.
happened, my friend?
I randomly think, okay, what if the big earthquake happens? What do I do?
Okay.
All right. Well,
it
what'd you
just
decide?
happened. I didn't decide anything. It only just came across.
I
my
don't
brain.
have a plan.
Well,
for
that's
any-
a bad idea. Sorry, it happens to me once a week at least, and I just where I am in that moment, then my mind starts going to, okay, what do you do in that situation?
You know what? Let's have a drill.
It's called anticipatory anxiety.
Let's have a monthly drill
Earthquake drill.
where we just let's
Where you leave everyone behind and
we find out a few things.
Right.
We need drills here. We just never know. We got to be prepared.
okay.
We could do an alien drill if there's an alien invasion.
Well,
We
I
got a
just
plan for
go
that.
to them then.
We got a
Arms wide open.
ex-girlfriend drunk and is on the work property drill.
Okay.
We need a drill for that.
All right.
We got oh shit, I did have a kid 18 years ago. Somebody give me a fake identity drill.
So you got to learn how to get out the window and shimmy down the
Mm-hmm. Yes.
drain.
And then put on a fake mustache at the same time. How do you do, sir? No, I do not know where Mr. Terrell is.
You just
You
put
have a
a-
good day.
You just put a wig on.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's part
What
of
kind
the
of wig
drill.
would you go with?
Dreads, no doubt.
Dreads?
Completely thrown
Oh,
for
wow.
a loop. They're like, oh, that definitely can't be Travis. That's too much
I
hair.
want you one of them Guy Fieri ones with the visor and everything.
Oh,
But it's
nice, where
black
it's, like,
with the
picked out.
dreads,
Yeah, I
that
want
may
that.
work. We don't wear visors, so that may be a tell.
Let's get one of those
Yeah,
for
black
ya.
people really ain't messing with visors like that, but that's definitely
I mean, you
something
could
to
be the
consider.
first, right?
Yeah, possible, very possible. Well, we need drills. We just never know.
Right. That's why it just crossed my mind. So,
Where are you going?
Me?
Forest Park's all sectioned off. You can't go there.
I probably try to make my way down south a little.
Okay. Less population or?
Wilmore Park would be
Oh, okay.
an option.
Got it.
Live off the waters of the River de Pere.
Ugh.
Is this the estate that I'm drinking here?
Oh, the Snappy Bigman that we're enjoying.
It is
Cheers,
quite
sir.
delicious.
Happy coffee day.
Oh, happy coffee
Oh,
to you.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. No problem. And thank you to my friends over at Impolite Company.
Hold on. If you're gonna
Good
do
people,
this.
that Chris here.
There you go.
That Impolite Company. When you don't want to be polite, but you want laughs, Impolite Company.
Look at
There
that
it
other
is.
microphone in your way now.
Okay, I know that.
It kind of looks. It kind of looks cool. Yeah. It's like, hey,
That is
you
a-
know what you do to Chris every day? Now it's your turn.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that is in your face. That is
Get to it.
That is brutal. Hey,
Well, are you gonna go after it?
Oh my God. Ah.
Which of the Dakotas has been acting up?
Oh, South Dakota, where
it's
I want
always
to
that
go.
damn South, South Dakota. You know what I say? Bismarck bitches.
What?
Now,
That's not the capital of. That's the capital of North Dakota.
But
far
that-
be it,
damn it.
Pierre
far
is the
be it
capital
from a-
of South Dakota.
I thought I had the city.
far be it from a state advertising fund to get used correctly, but
Oh.
South Dakota, they've thrown their hat in the ring.
Yeah.
What do we have?
They have an
Gardner?
anti-drug slogan to deal with a meth problem, I guess, that they see in their state, and here it is.
Meth. We're on it. Oh, like they're on it, like they're on the problem, or
Yeah.
meth, they're actually on meth.
Trademarked it
Probably.
too. That's how sure of themselves they were.
Probably both.
I need to know: is this the work of a rogue intern that's like, hey, yeah, I'll do your branding?
I don't
Here's
know.
here's
Hope
here's
they
my
didn't pay
thing.
cash.
Let's be honest. Yeah, we got 50 states, and I'm sure they all have something nice about them. But the Dakotas,
Don't.
I'm sorry,
You've never been there. You have no
don't
idea.
care to go.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
But you have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I don't care to go.
Do you think?
Okay,
If I
that's
never
fine.
go to the Dakotas, I'd be like, all right,
That's fine. I want to go to South Dakota.
okay, then go. They have meth.
Where
I'm
is,
going to go. I'm going to go to Sylvan Lake. I'm going to go to Mount Rushmore.
Oh, here you go. Oh, that's where it is.
Here it's a
Yes.
Here
It's not in New York?
Here it's a delightful trip, by the way.
I didn't know it was in New York. Damn, now I gotta actually go there because I kind of wanted to see
Here it's
the
a
slave
delightful trip.
owners.
Yeah.
Where would you put an all-black mountain?
Well, Atlanta's too obvious.
I don't know.
They have a mountain there that's already racist.
Stone Mountain.
Stone Mountain. Where the
Uh,
KKK was born.
If I
And now
really-
it's a tourist attraction. I was going to propose that they get rid of all the Confederate monuments in Georgia in exchange for a statue of Richard Jewell in Atlanta.
the worst trade-off.
There's a comic that played Richard Jewell in this thing called History Mystery, which they have historical figures do stand-up comedy at Flyover. He did it quite well.
Did good?
You did a
Shout
Richard
out
Jewell?
to Aaron Brooks. Yeah.
Okay, now that's
All
funny.
right,
I didn't
I
know
see
that.
that.
I would have loved to see.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I didn't know that. Damn, that's.
And
pretty
Aaron
funny.
would say this about himself. He's got some pounds on him,
Uh-huh.
and he shaved his very baby-like face for a mustache. and
Oh,
he
that's
did a
nice.
good job. Yeah. Shout out to Aaron.
I do have another picture.
There's more.
From, I like this one.
Oh no.
Meth. I'm on it.
So
Now,
what?
I can't tell if this guy's like,
I don't see any teeth.
So I'm saying. So I guess they're just saying, hey, they're acknowledging that they have a problem.
Yeah.
So we need to fix it. That's what the
right,
campaign is supposed to.
but I think maybe it's both. So, like, I don't know which guy this is, though. Is he on the meth?
Is he on it?
Or is
trying
he
to
like
stop meth?
the local sheriff
Right.
that's trying to, weed out the problem?
Wouldn't it have been easier to say
No, it's
I'm
not
on?
weed.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
my
it
bad.
be easier to say I'm on meth?
I am a convicted meth user.
Yeah.
Currently
Murder? I've done it. What?
trotting down the highway in a non-pedestrian area. That's typically where they are. Duh.
Vagina? I eat it.
What? No, Travis.
I'm just saying they could just
Literally
say
have-
I.
Why
they
are you
didn't
so
have to-
insecure to make that declaration?
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. I thought that would just be something I
I know.
show my appreciation for women. Last week you guys accused me of being sexist.
Oh, that's why you're insecure now.
So, okay, so have you seen this? Like, why did they go with it? What's their reasoning?
I don't know all the details.
I do. Meth. They're on it.
Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah.
So they're on meth.
okay.
Hence why the ad is what it is.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
letting you know meth. We're on it.
It's double meaning.
Yes. This is why this is a poor campaign because we're actually on
Now,
meth.
now, their argument saying if it's such a poor campaign, the advertisement seems to be working.
I think the dialogue and conversation in this country in this part of as far as meth is concerned, I don't think it's been under wraps. I don't think
Okay.
people haven't been there was an entire show
I mean,
major TV show that people
Right.
know meth from. So it wasn't like,
But
oh my goodness, now we got to
The
address the issue.
publicity that it's getting, is it good?
No.
It's not? Why not?
Because it makes me think that a place that I thought was stupid is actually stupid.
Why did you think it was stupid?
Because it's South Dakota.
Man, you are such a fucking moron.
I know. What smart people are from South Dakota? What heroes are from South Dakota? Give me a hero from South Dakota. I'll wait.
Why do
Give
you-
me an American great from South Dakota. What South Dakotan has changed the game in your life? I'll wait.
Okay.
Tom Brokaw.
Tom Brokaw?
Ever heard of Crazy Horse? Why do you hate Native Americans?
Okay.
Yep.
You don't get to claim the person you killed to get out.
Sparky Anderson.
Okay, Sparky was a genius. One of two managers, I think, to have a World Series championship in 2 leagues. Okay, you got Sparky Anderson. Okay, you may have got me there.
You're not giving Tom,
Tom Brokaw?
No, I'm not giving Tom Brokaw. Liberal elitist.
Oh.
Okay.
Not my Tom.
Cheryl Ladd.
You know, oh, Cheryl. Who's Cheryl Ladd, Chris, without looking at
She
it?
was an actress in Huron.
Yeah, okay.
My great uncle Sonny.
Oh, okay. Oh, I apologize to Sonny.
Dorothy
should.
Provine from Deadwood.
Oh, Sparky Anderson was a
Sitting
good one.
Bull.
Sparky Anderson's a good one.
Norm Van Brocklin.
Wasn't he with the Rams?
Former Rams quarterback.
Yeah.
One of those names up on the, lifeless dome walls.
That's
We're
still
like,
there.
who's that?
You know, I think did they give those back?
The Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
No, I mean just when they were here, where it was always like, I guess Jackie Slater can be up there since he played for like 3 games here.
He did.
But you're like, St. Louis Rams legends like Eric Dickerson, Jack Youngblood, and you're like, no one's resonating with them. Okay.
I'm thinking of doing a Missouri one where it's just meth, we make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could probably do a St. Louis version as well. If it's something STD related, maybe. Chlamydia or something. Chlamydia, we got it. Chlamydia, we got it.
You can go with the baseball thing, like best meth heads in America.
Meth head, that's a lot of.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
I like mine
Maybe
better.
So is meth our drug? Is that what we're going with? I feel like each state should be able to pick a drug.
Well,
Let's make this fun. Let's get the creative juices
okay,
flowing
so we
in
could
these
do
states.
something different on this show. We could do
We-
our research.
Well, we will first of
Figure
all.
out what that might be.
Well, St. Louis has been recently dominant. I don't know if that carries statewide, but dominant in the STD category.
That's what I was saying.
So yeah, we can probably do
Pick whatever STD
chlamydia. It itches.
and just say, we got it.
Okay.
So whatever STD that
Scabies
is.
on my penis. We got it.
Scabies.
you ever wonder, like, because we talk about like 8 million things here, and then there's like 10 minutes like we've just had, and you just wonder, like, where are we? What's happening here? I just wonder.
Scabs on my nuts.
All right.
Been there.
Also announce you.
Just thinking of ads.
That's
That's not the ad goes.
I like the fact that you're putting some effort into it, though, and thinking about it. That's how thought showers work. Not-
DUIs. We all have one.
Well, that's St. Charles County. They generate a lot of money that way.
City of St. Louis a car yelled at a guy driving up a ramp the wrong way. You're going the wrong way, dumbass, and drove on. Like that's St. Louis. I wouldn't want to mess with it either if I was that officer.
Blinkers. We don't use it.
Is that a county thing or a city thing?
That's a St. Louis thing. St. Louis hates blinkers.
Now I'm curious. Have we seen?
I've always used blinkers.
Their turn signal. St. Louis is like, I don't know what it is. Like somebody must have had a traumatic experience with.
Especially in my area where there's pedestrians, like you need to at least let pedestrians know where you're
Yes.
going as well.
Yes.
Like it's a must.
And then I do it because people in St. Louis ride your ass. So
You're gonna get hit.
terrible. You're gonna get hit. So I have to put the blinker on.
I have to do this to my mom every time she comes down to the city and I'm riding with her. I'm like, I'll say at least once, did you use your blinker? And she's like, no. And then she is exasperated. I'm like, look, I'm not mad at you or anything like that, but I'm concerned
Right.
because I don't want you to get hit.
Right.
And you're going to get hit
gonna
if
get
you
hit.
continue to do
You're
that.
gonna get hit.
It's going to happen.
You're gonna get
And
hit.
we don't need to deal with that.
No, I agree.
Wow. Thank you
That's all.
for the outreach there. This has got to be the worst. I'm trying to think. Like, Arrive Alive is just. a nothing thing. I'm trying to think of other campaigns that would even rival this.
Ranch. We gonna put it on everything.
Oh boy. It's not bad though. I use
Yeah.
ranch on pizza sometimes.
Fat. That's us.
Okay. We'll do Missouri themed ones.
Oh,
And some
okay.
St. Louis themed
I
ones.
like that.
See what we can come up with.
I like it.
Real quick before our guests come in, Gardner, I need you to give us a haunting list of house rules for the Airbnb.
I saw this
I saw
tweet
this
the
and I
other
was
day.
like, I bet Gardner checked this out quite a bit.
Yeah, let me pull that up here.
Okay.
But I want to make sure, I want to pull it up on my own Twitter feed as well, because I want to make sure I'm able to read it, because I do have the image for everyone, but there's a number of rules, so it can be kind of hard to read.
Okay.
If you give me just a moment, I'll be able to find it.
In the
I think.
meantime, check out Gastro Pit this Thursday after comedy. You can enjoy happy hour barbecue on the hill. That's at Kings Highway and Shaw. Same building as Gaslight. It's Gastro Pit right there for you guys.
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
All right, so here you go. This is a list someone had tweeted out. Their husband, I believe. This lady's husband was staying at Airbnb, and these were the house rules that they had put out.
I think I saw
Oh,
this,
no.
and these are
Okay.
pretty damn.
Number
funny.
one,
Written quite ghostly.
if you use a dish, please wash it.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Okay.
Number
keep going.
two,
It's not bad.
if you hear noises coming from one of the vents,
All
like
right.
skittering or scratching, or the sound of someone breathing, just ignore it. She's perfectly harmless.
What?
3, smoking is fine as long as you do it outside or on the patio.
Okay.
Okay,
Again,
all
a
right, back to
reasonable
it.
request.
4, if someone knocks on the door, feel free to answer it. However, if you hear the doorbell ring, do not answer it or look through the peephole. My apartment does not have a doorbell.
Wait, a what? Who?
Number 5, if you have pets, please review the pet policy.
Oh, I'd imagine there's a pet
Okay.
policy
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's
Okay.
standard.
Number 6, this is rare, but you may wake up in the middle of the night with the feeling that someone is watching you. If this happens, just stay calm and don't look at the foot of the bed. Eventually, the feeling will pass and you can go back to sleep.
Now, hold
Don't
on
look at the foot of the bed.
Hold on now. Hold on now, player.
Number 7, please don't leave food out overnight. Fruit and unopened snacks are fine, but anything else attracts ants.
I don't think that's
Okay,
how it
ants
works.
ants sound like the worst thing that you would run into at this house at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
that we can confirm.
Sure. 8, feel free to explore our beautiful complex. Just be sure to stay away from the west side dumpster between 10:30 p.m.
What?
and 1:23 a.m.
That's very specific.
Something lives over there, and most encounters occur between those hours.
These
So
would be
that's
a
good.
possum or a raccoon.
Yeah, especially
Number
about
9.
23 in the morning.
You may meet a tall, friendly stranger while walking around the complex. Feel free to chat with him, but do not, under any circumstances, invite him into the apartment.
What?
Okay, well
What?
that seems pretty.
And then 10, you can park under any of the uncovered spaces. Do not park under any of the covered spaces. If you do, you may be towed. So, seems like completely normal,
I feel
but
like these are
just
reasonable
these what you will
rules,
find at
yeah.
certain Airbnbs.
Okay.
Just don't look at the end of the bed if you feel someone is watching you while you're sleeping.
And the no doorbell thing, huh?
No doorbell, and she, who is in the vent, is perfectly harmless.
Look, this is how you secure 5 stars, my friend. This is how you secure it.
You inviting
no
her to
doubt.
your next writers
There's
meeting?
no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. This is brilliant. This is brilliant on a marketing
She
standpoint.
just pulled this from the bylines of that Haunting of Hill House on Netflix.
Nah,
This
maybe
isn't
it may be
unique.
specific.
So you think this is
brilliant.
brilliant?
This is really funny. This is well done.
What if it's real?
This is really funny.
What if
this
it's
is
real,
this is a
Travis?
great
Are
way.
you telling yourself it's funny?
I wish I had written it. It was good. That's good shit right there. That's pretty damn funny.
You're gonna make your own. What if Travis had an Airbnb rules?
He would. It would be haunt. You would think it'd be haunted for like 2 of the 7 days, and then he would forget, and they'd be like, "It was just kind of normal the rest of the time." He's like, "Oh, boo!" Like what? Oh, nothing. I'll see you guys.
I
You
ain't
only
your boo.
5 stars.
I get most of the cover when I sleep in bed with you. That's rule number 1.
You get. Oh,
2.
That's the thing. A rule about him: if there's a 6'1", 230-pound slice of chocolate that slides into your twin bed, no talkie-talkie. Whoa.
God.
That sounds like that definitely is rule number 1.
You get most of the covers.
most. Yeah, I do. I get cold.
Oh,
I get cold.
you should wear pajamas.
Sleep it all out, man. Sleep ass naked.
You sleep in the nude?
Oh, heck yeah, man. So that way if somebody comes in, the robber comes in,
You can have.
you can see my bare ass.
Okay.
What are you going to
So
try
wait.
to seduce a robber?
That's what I have left, I think.
All
Like,
right.
you want some of
Okay.
you want some of this?
That might be a good defense
You
mechanism.
want some of this rubber?
They might leave.
Grr.
Ah,
You want some of this chocolate?
No,
Ah,
certainly don't.
you want this biting down on you?
what are you doing?
Grr.
What's your face
Oh,
doing?
get the camera 3 behind the microphone.
Oh,
hold
man.
on
a second.
You have real people coming in here.
Yeah.
God.
That's what they can look forward to.
Yeah.
Now talk to the robber.
You get away out of here, robber. You get out of here.
Ask the robber if it wants some.
What you want? No more hot pockets. Rawr.
Oh man.
Rawr.
Ask the robber
This
if
is
it
who
wants
we
some
are.
You
chocolate.
got to change in my car. Rawr. Get out. That work?
Travis Terrell, everybody.
It might work.
Tell you what we'll do. We've got some guests coming in. We'll get them set up and take a quick break. Don't forget, we've got Sophie's Happy Hour Comedy this Thursday, 6 o'clock, Grand Center, 3224 Locust Street. Thanks to Jack Daniels for partnering with us on that, and our friends at Schlafly for the specials as well. Come out, enjoy some live comedy, and our favorite bartender, Eric, behind the bar. Great service, great times, free each Thursday right here in Grand Center. Quick break. Be right back.
Oh, hold on. Yep.
Welcome back to the show. Chris Denman, Travis Terrell. Our producer, Chris Gardner's here, but we're very pleased to be joined by Jen and Alicia from Socially Inspired right here in the .Zac building. Good morning. Hello. It's exciting to have you.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes. Sociallyinspired.co, I believe, is the website. Look at this wonderful logo that you guys have. This is
Chris, you could be the mascot again.
If
Be
it-
the
oh,
mascot,
wait.
Chris. Put your
Come
arms
be
out.
an
Yeah.
influencer
There
with
you go.
us. Use us for all of your publicity and marketing and
Yes, please.
digital
Yes,
everything
please.
needs.
Hashtag yes, please.
Yes, absolutely. Wanted to get you in here, get some tips on how we make Travis. He's already got a scarf.
It's
a
kind of
true
it's part of my brand now.
Yeah.
See, I'm already talking about branding.
Give us the boring, the top level view. What is this Socially Inspired? Like, what's that? Why are you here? What's going on?
Why are we here?
They're like, oh,
That's
we
it.
thought we were
Just
friends.
woke up.
Yeah.
We have 2 toddlers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 3 kids.
3.
Yeah. Socially inspired. So socially inspired, we primarily do digital marketing, a lot of social media, content creation. Funny enough, Jen and I met at an influencer marketing event in New York City for
Okay.
a fashion week.
Travis, you're from there.
I'm not from there, but it's kind of my second city. It's my home away from home.
He did a project with Sesame Street for 3 months and believes he's,
Look,
he's a
Empire.
Brooklynite.
As
On Sesame Street?
A Brooklyonian.
Brooklyonian is
No, people don't know that.
Williamsburg?
Oh, I was actually at Bushwick. I was at Bushwick.
Okay.
At Williamsburg, you know, one day maybe I'll get
I
that
lived
salary
in
job.
Williamsburg
Oh,
for
nice.
a year.
Nice.
That makes her 4 times the New Yorker.
Definitely.
So you guys met in New York.
Yes. Well, we met each other in St. Louis, but we had an event in New York City, and then she was a vendor, and we just started. I was putting the event together, and we just started. And this was a very, very, very early stage of influencer marketing.
Right,
I mean, there were
right.
bloggers
There's
and
so much now.
yeah, very, very early onset, and so we connected, and then we got back to St. Louis, and we just kept talking, and we're like, what are we doing? Like having separate businesses, like we're kind of technically competitors. Yeah. So we joined forces, and we were like, let's add influencer marketing to, since we have experience doing that, why don't we add that as a service? So what we do so normally we kind of work with brands. So we
Right.
come up with an influencer program. How do we activate these influencers to create a return on investment on
Okay.
their products, basically?
Oh, nice.
It's just word of mouth marketing, but putting it on digital form.
So how do you go from, hey, this person's got X amount of followers on Instagram to pairing it with a brand? This is actually pretty interesting to me because I've been talking to several companies and you start looking at them and it's a thing that these marketing folks have now in their heads. They're like,
Yeah.
I need influencers. The higher ups are telling me I need this, I need this, I need this. What's the marrying of the two?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
I agree.
Actually.
I agree.
Very good.
It's
Very
almost
deep.
as good as the
Yeah.
school you went to. Yeah.
Very deep.
So you know what's funny is it's still so early. I mean, it's a gamut, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
we have
I'm glad to hear that actually because I'm like, not you, other folks are like, don't tell me you know exactly what this is going to do for you. Like
Right.
Travis is always shouting about he's the expert at everything.
Yeah. And
I'm
a
like,
lot of
when did you
those-
retweet?
Yeah.
At 2 a.m.? Wrong time. Wait 4 hours. Then you'll have it.
Oh, it's the worst.
But we see anywhere from huge influencers to like 1 million followers charging X certain amount of
Yeah.
dollars because they treat themselves as a media page.
Right.
To honestly even smaller influencers, and they were like, I want $500 for this, and it's just kind of like. We kind of try to scale it and see like where our engagement is and
Right.
see, what's worth it and what's not. I'm not going to lie. It's a very, very, very new industry.
Right.
It's still
People are willing to
starting.
take a chance on it though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
for brands, it makes sense because instead of spending like $10 million on a celebrity, they
Right.
can break it up and really silo their audience.
That's
with, like,
interesting. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Then say, let's do David Beckham. And 10
Right,
mil- and, then
right.
and there's always space for those people, but then they come like, well, why don't we take 10 million and then break it down to this influencer, that influencer, and they have very specific
Oh, I see.
following. But now we're starting to find that micro influencers are the new thing.
Okay, now,
Like the
okay,
ones with
you.
like
So,
2,000
yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
Okay, no, what? Wait, okay, so
Travis
now.
is perking up. He's like, okay, I'm gonna start paying attention to my Instagram.
Well, no, it's
Yeah.
it's that I was just learning. Like I just felt like I was comfortable in understanding the influencer culture,
Yeah.
and now you're telling me there's another subculture to
There is.
that.
this is as real as it gets.
Yeah,
too,
this is really happening incredibly fast. So, what is micro influencer?
it's the smaller influencers.
All
Yeah,
right, and
so
how do they play a
smaller
role, I guess, in this culture
followers.
now?
Nickname for you in college.
Hey, wait a minute.
I feel like their followers are really true. They're not
Yeah.
these huge followers that.
True,
you know,
true.
And
I
how's
would
it- how's
say.
this- and I blame this
And
all
they
the time on
engage
everything.
more.
I'm like, Instagram just wants, once you switch over to a business page or something, right?
Yeah.
I get so angry because we do so much stuff on Facebook. We do advertising, do this, that, the
Yeah.
other. And then now we're excited about jumping the YouTube channel up and optimizing that,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Instagram in particular bothers the living crap out of me. I feel like they punish you bigger you get to say like, and if there's a word that says giveaway or follow us or anything like that, I feel like it's like certainly no one's seeing this, or we're just not that interesting. There's that part too. But is there anything concrete that says once you get to X amount, Instagram's going to start trying to throttle you more to paid advertising? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where they're almost going to
Like
be like, here,
Facebook.
you get to go hang out over here, but if you pay
It's
us,
just
you can
like
hang out over
Facebook,
here.
yeah.
Right, but
Yep.
I don't. Do they tell you that? Do they say that? Okay,
No,
but
they're
it's
not-
happening.
Yeah, it's happening. And
Thank you.
They're not
Okay.
telling you that, but yeah, they're trying to make it. I mean, they're a business too. I mean, Instagram
Right.
is owned by Facebook, so at a certain point, they have to reach their stocks, their
Okay.
IPOs, and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
What
so.
have you heard from clients? And I'm curious about this. In that I'll see someone that blows up on Twitter or Instagram, and they have this really cool following. They have this very neat viral presence, and then obviously they want to monetize that.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing the brand show up, and then you start seeing more commercials. How does that affect, I guess, who they originally started as, and how do you balance
question.
that?
Good
Because I see
question,
that, like, oh, I
Travis.
love
Good-
these guys, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, and then I see the Burger King commercial, and then
yeah.
the Walmart, and nothing's wrong because I
Yeah.
know it's a hustle and more, hey, make
Yeah.
money off of it.
Yeah.
That's what I want for them. But then it's like, now you're just like the rest of them. How do I? You're just like the commercials I see on cable. So how do you balance that?
They have to keep their voice and they have to keep sharing content that's fun and their own.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They have to sprinkle that in
Do
between.
you feel like you all are the conduit between that? So like, I've been that before, where you'll have a client wanting to work with talent, and they're like, "You need to do this." I'm like, "That'll be an infomercial, and no one's going to care about that." And then you're going to be mad at them that no one engaged with it. And you're like, "Well, we needed to hit these points on these
Yeah.
things." Like, well, that's super boring.
Right, and that's where we
lot of
come
the
in when we
time.
work with brands. It's funny because brands will come to us and we'll be like, we want this and give away and all this, and we try. So we work as a conduit between that, and we really like to give the creative control to
okay,
the influencer. So
okay.
when we're creating guidelines and stuff, sure, of course, we want them to stick to a certain messaging, to a tone
Sure.
of voice and stuff, but overall, like let them kind of guide, the creative process of it,
Right.
because at the end of the day, it's their voice, right? So
Okay.
it's like, it'll be weird. If you're spunky and sarcastic, it's just weird to suddenly have just a Burger King infomercial on your
Right,
feed,
right,
right?
right,
So how can
right.
we take that
Right.
and like tailor that to your voice
Okay.
and how, if you're all about doing pranks and like creating silly videos, like how can we take that Burger King
Okay.
and put it in and make it like kind of organic?
Okay.
in
Okay.
a
No, that
sense.
makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, but again, as an influencer, it's up to you in terms of your values. Like you can set and say, like, I only do one big campaign every 3 months. So it's not.
So it's not going to just inundate
Yeah.
people every day, all day. And
Yeah.
there'll still be some like fun pictures or whatever it is that
Because
people
people will
expect from you.
start dropping.
Yeah.
We saw that with, I don't know, how long has it been since, are you familiar with Ken Bone? He was a
Yes.
he was this
That's what-
huge hit. He's
Yep.
from Granite City.
Yeah.
He happened to ask a question during the debate at
Yep.
Wash U. He was wearing a red sweater, had a mustache. He was just a very peculiar, silly looking guy for the
became a
moment.
meme.
Became a meme, went on Kimmel. I mean, you talk about like
Did a
viral.
campaign with
viral.
Izod, I think. if I'm
Yeah,
not
because of the sweater he chose to
Yeah.
wear that night. So, long story short, he got 6 figures, and it all sparked from, like, honestly, I give the Morning After radio show credit for that because they got him on and they blew it up eventually. They help with that. Either way, he told us anytime he talks about anything remotely, event-wise or anything else, he'd lose like 10,000 followers, like something crazy, because it was such a unique, like, ooh, I'm going to follow this silly guy from the debates or whatever, and if he did something that was even remotely self-serving, would just lose people immediately.
Wow.
That's wild to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anytime you monetize something, right, it's the
Right.
capitalism, and people get a little, I think, for example, Marie Kondo, it's a whole, now yesterday they posted about it because, she came in authentically talking about decluttering, right?
Right.
And then that was the whole thing last January. But now she just launched a shop
Yeah.
trying to sell people stuff, right?
Right.
So
It's like, hey, wait a minute. You
Yeah.
told me I don't need all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Now you're selling
have
can
my stuff.
Only declutter if you spray with Febreze. Yeah.
I know there isn't a blueprint for this, and we see plenty of people, whether they're influencers or not, make social media mistakes. And so I know having a list of complete no-nos, there's no absolute list, but what are some of the things you immediately let clients know as far as their influence grows, some of the pitfalls to avoid if you want to maintain that level of success?
Don't just keep advertising.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And trying to find a happy medium in terms
Okay.
of, and it's so cliche, but we always believe like content is king. So, we always try to get, whether if it's a continual like education both on
Right.
the brands and the influencers to be like, we get it. Everyone needs to make a living.
Right.
Right. But how do you find a happy balance in a medium of like providing, because that's what people crave online, right?
Right.
People want to connect. And
Right.
when you're trying to connect,
Right.
you're trying to find the original, authentic person.
Right.
But
I think making sure that whoever they're working with understands who they're working with too, because they could get enamored by. We have a friend who is she's a viral. Bob Libby's a viral star, millions upon millions of YouTube and Facebook video views, insane. And she also can be like, it's funny and it's dirty. So if you're a wellness brand and you're like, well, we think she's great, she's got so many followers, it's like, do you want her saying, like, are you
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be mad? Like, that's on you, because
Yeah.
she's gonna continue doing what she's doing. That's
Yeah.
just an example. Or if you have a fitness person that teams up with I don't know, bunny bread, their followers are gonna be like, I don't eat bread, and use whatever it is. Like, you could do that,
it's so
right?
funny you brought that up because you have no idea, like, and this is where we come in, like how many times brands come to us, it's like, we just won this and this influencer, and we're like, but it doesn't resonate with your brand,
Right.
So this is where we come in, and like, we would look at these influencers, not just the influencers, but their followers. Who are their
Right.
followers? Because
Oh,
you'll be
okay,
surprised
that makes
if
sense.
they're
You have
if-
to.
That
they
makes
They
could
don't
be-
eat bunny bread. Why are
Right.
you?
Oh, that makes
Why-
sense.
And I'm not
yeah.
picking on bunny bread. I feel like I'm kicking them while they're down. I'm like, we worked with Vest Soda, and they were like, let's.
I love Vest.
Yeah, it's great for St. Louis.
Yeah.
But they were like, we like quirky sports stuff. If you guys could leave us out of the idiotic stuff you talk about, that would be great. That's
Yeah.
okay. Yes, that's
Yeah.
awesome. We both understand each other, and you won't be included in some story about a meth campaign in South Dakota. Like that's one of those things. Yeah.
We're on it.
Is there a lot of meth in South Dakota?
Gardner, do we have
Probably.
the official?
Statistics.
Do we have the official state slogan? This is very real, and I
And
wanted
then
to
what
show
my
you
favorite
all
part
this.
about it is how they put it inside the state
Meth, we're on
itself.
it.
Meth.
That's their actual
We're on
campaign.
it.
It's an awareness campaign.
And then here's another thing.
No, they're really on it though.
That's what I'm saying. And then somebody really thought they,
trademarked it.
yeah, they trademarked it. That's
That
the
makes
part that
me
I
so-
find hilarious
I
is
said
the
the
fact that they
same thing.
trademarked it. It was
What
like,
was it?
not only did we come up with it,
Meth,
I'm gonna
I'm
let
on
everybody
it.
know that I own the rights to it. Meth,
He's
I'm
on
on
it.
it. He's on it.
I don't see any teeth.
Oh my God.
I'm reusing jokes, Travis.
That's
It
Yeah,
hilarious.
you're a professional comedian.
It worked.
So it
Yeah,
works.
that
That's
worked.
so sad.
Isn't it?
But what else is there to do in South Dakota?
Gardner, oh boy, Gardner's gonna get him fired up.
Sure, there's all kinds of
That's
things.
where they
Are you
film.
from South Dakota?
Well, that's where they
No,
film
I
National
have
Treasure
family there,
too.
though.
No, it's beautiful. I'm sure. Is that where the Badlands are?
Yeah.
I've
I've never
been through there. a
I've
couple
never been to
times.
South Dakota though.
It's gorgeous.
That's my understanding. My dad goes there every summer, and
Yeah.
my great uncle lives close to Mount Rushmore in Custer
It's
Park,
unbelievable. But you know
Sylvan
what?
Lake.
There's meth here too.
There's meth everywhere. So
There's-
excuse me,
I
South
grew up-
Dakota.
I grew up
That's
an hour
our
south of here.
thing.
I'm
Yeah,
aware,
yeah.
That's what
why
I
we
grew up
do.
in rural Missouri where heroin is king.
I definitely, like, when I go home, I was just talking about this. I'm like, there's every 3 miles
Yeah.
So that-
somebody's kid shuffling down the highway.
But
and
that brings up a good point. Could I be the next heroin influencer? Somebody didn't
Okay.
think about that.
Uh-huh.
Is that a
Kick-
way
Yeah.
to push
Cut his
something?
mic.
Can we do? Is that a thing? Is that a brand?
I think Facebook would
Shut
delete-
that down?
Yeah,
Okay.
Shut that
Yeah.
down.
Right.
And they're on it.
They're on it.
They're on it.
I've noticed that.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about this. So there's
You
differences.
have to be more of a heroine.
Heroin.
Ah,
Oh.
Yes, much
Love it.
more
I love
empowering.
it. I love it.
So let's talk about this. Facebook, primarily, I'm guessing right now you spend, well, locally you probably go with Facebook. Do you do more on Instagram, Twitter? Give us the breakdown. Just those are the three main ones, right? Or I guess like you're not
Pinterest
doing a
we
lot of.
do.
Oh yeah,
We do-
because you
as
work
We
like
do
you
a
work
lot
with
with-
things that
Yeah.
look really
I think
cool. Yeah.
Pinterest is
We use it more of a search engine optimization tool to
Okay.
websites.
Interesting.
Primary because people tend to like click on it and it,
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, that's a good
But
point.
we
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
don't really use a lot of Twitter, surprisingly.
No.
Twitter's
because
confusing to me.
It's like chat room on
Twitter's
steroids.
Yeah, but look at this.
Yeah.
She's like, but it's so crazy because sports or like
It's
big
male-dominated.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
So if a brand is really male dominated, we do recommend
Yeah.
Twitter.
Okay.
But if it's and again so we did a social media training on Friday, for a client, and Twitter we like to say is you need to ask yourself like why are you using Twitter? So we like to use Twitter as if you want to use it as a point of customer service, as an extension to your phone.
Oh, I
that would be a
see.
great
Right,
but you
right.
have to be ready because Twitter is a whole different beast.
And it's a
you
very and I think people trying
it's good
to
for high-level comedians to literally work out one-line materials, but like
Trump.
like man, he's definitely
catch
gonna
me at the
win.
comedy cellar this weekend. Wait, you're the president. What are you talking about?
But no, it's confusing though too because I'm just like I don't know. It's probably good for local news. It's probably good for like certain things, but yeah, like it's purpose is important then.
Yeah. Again, who's your
Yeah.
target audience?
Okay.
Not a lot of women, I feel. It's across the board when we do analytics for our clients. Like Twitter is primarily male based.
Okay.
So
okay.
nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're like a sports, company, media company,
That'd be the way to
absolutely.
go.
Things can
go.
catch fire really quick
right,
on Twitter.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of testosterone and stuff. Yeah.
Ah, she's
Get
right.
on
So
Twitter.
give me your perfect influencer for a Facebook campaign and an Instagram campaign. What are you looking for with your company? So you see a person and you say, we've got X brand and Facebook's going to go. Who do you put into that?
Engagement. I mean, again, it really boils down to what we were just talking about. Like, it's more, that's not like a perfect influencer, but when we try to find the
Yeah.
perfect influencer is, do you have engagement on your platform?
Because they
right?
could
On
have
Facebook, you're saying?
20,000 followers,
but
with
only
no
one
engagement.
comment. You
It's
know what I mean?
That is
Yeah.
insane to
I
me,
would
and
rather
it's
have
not fake
someone with
followers
2,000
either.
or
It's like real
3,000.
Right,
followers. Really? Okay, so
Yeah.
is Facebook more localized, or does it just depend on what it is?
I think it depends what it is. But, what's funny is we've noticed Facebook's primarily middle-aged women. And then Instagram's primarily millennial women. So we try to see who are they trying to target.
Right.
So if they're trying to target millennial women, I'm like, let's just go to Instagram. Why are we on Facebook?
Don't waste your
right?
time.
Don't
I
waste
mean,
your
my
time.
dad's on Facebook. Like
It's starting to
it's
age-
older.
Everyone
Right.
is.
It is,
It's starting
it
to get
is.
pretty old.
The memories on Facebook. So you went to school in Columbia. You did also at some point
Webster.
at Webster. Okay, gotcha. So Facebook, while you and I and he were in Columbia, Facebook was coming to form, right?
You need your .edu.
So-
I remember that.
So
Gosh, I
the memories
remember it like it
from
was yesterday.
14 years ago remind me what the Wild West was like on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
You would post at 3 a.m. no shame, hammered at this place, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
like an idiotic picture because you were 19 or 20, and nobody was going to be on there that would judge you for that. Employers weren't on there, all that stuff. So that's funny to me. Whenever you see the memories, and you're like, oh, that's what this used to be.
I'm not kidding you. A memory pop up from 12 years ago. I was at a lingerie party in Mizzou, and I was just like, "Do not share this." I'm like,
yeah.
hide. But it's so funny. Like at that point, it was
Right.
literally. It was. I remember having Facebook, and you needed a .edu
Yep.
to get on it, and literally we were on it to find parties.
Yeah.
That's it. Like it was, and the interface was so simple. There was no business pages. There was no groups. I remember just a board, and you kind of see what someone can post
Yes.
on the board and be like, party
Yeah.
at this X house,
Right.
and your profile to stalk, this really cute guy.
I
that's met.
remember
Travis met so many cute guys.
so many. You may be able to relate to this. I know being from the J school, it wasn't until the tail end of my time at Mizzou when I start hearing folks who were recruiters for the Chicago Tribune and
yeah.
these other major newspapers officially kind of say, yeah, be careful what you post online. Like that was the first time I heard it, and I remember thinking, oh, relax. No one's losing jobs over this Facebook
Yeah,
thing.
I remember.
Relax, recruiters, not that serious. And then
Right.
I look back on it, I go, holy Christ, they knew exactly what was going to happen. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just being, I think it's
It
being
happened
it's-
so quickly.
It
that
happened
it
so
became
quickly,
commonplace.
and it did. And I think that's why we say micro influence. I'm like, I'm just now catching up to the influencer culture. I'm just like, this is insane to me at how fast this is moving. What are you guys doing to make sure you're keeping pace, because like I said, there's no
It changes
official
all the
rules.
time,
It
yeah.
changes all the time. And what we know today, we almost can say for certainty that a year from now, it may be something entirely different. So what are you guys doing to keep pace?
A lot of research.
A lot of research, a lot of reading. We keep
Yeah,
up
a
with
lot of
social media
reading.
today, and like a bunch
Almost
of
daily.
daily. You
Yeah.
just got to be on it. Like
Mm.
our kids are probably going to go to therapy. That mom is always on her phone and laptop, right?
That's fair. Yeah, every
yeah.
time your children see a phone, they just get angry
Oh,
immediately.
my
yeah.
toddler, 3 years old. She's like, if I leave my phone down, she's like,
Yeah.
get your phone, don't forget your phone.
Oh,
Oh,
my
Yeah,
God.
and she'll grab
Wow.
it sometimes, and she knows how to use it and everything.
My 3-year-old will be at dinner time. Say, "Mama, put your phone down."
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
I'll be like,
Yep.
I would be eating and a climb with like,
Aw.
put your
It's
phone-
so sad. It's
It
so
is.
sad. And also,
That is so interesting.
screwing
Because
our
the
kids
kids
up.
are saying it.
I know.
Put your phone down, Mom.
yeah, Eloise just turned 3, and she's already like, put your laptop down.
Wow.
So crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you please go ahead. You.
Oh
did
no,
your-
I was like, just saying, like the digital sphere is such a strange, like it is like a wild west.
Yeah.
It's just such a. I can't I go from I love digital. I mean, obviously,
Right.
we own in digital media, but my husband is completely opposite. He literally has social media anxiety. Like,
Oh,
he,
wow.
can't and then
Sounds
I
like a-
go
sounds
to
like a clever diagnosis. To be
Yeah.
married to you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, this makes me sick. Every time I see
Right.
Facebook, I throw up. Gotta go.
Don't have football on Sunday anxiety. That's for sure. So
and, it's hard to find your voice.
yeah,
and,
it has to be just with all the. I mean, changing the goalposts.
I mean, I
really.
grew up with nothing. I'm a little older than you guys,
But
so I didn't grow up with all this.
I
don't-
mean, we
didn't
didn't
have
get
cell
we didn't get
phones.
cell phones till we were like upperclassmen in high school, which is like a huge difference.
Now, like,
That's
yeah.
what my husband
Yeah,
said,
I'm probably
too.
Yeah.
15 years older than you guys. So if I had social media growing up, I would have never been employed.
How
ever.
about
I-
some of the
like,
pictures
How
you
many
guys
times?
got?
How many times we said
public?
that's like almost the motto of this show is that we would not have gotten the opportunities that we would have
No.
had you had social media there when we like nothing makes me appreciate college more than when I went.
Yeah.
Now because
You-
I remember my first 2 years at Mizzou and oh God, it's like you just go like oh God, I'm so glad there was not like
Some of these
witnesses to all this
I know.
tomfoolery.
I mean, it was all like there was nothing. Like there was like regular cameras, and we
Yeah.
didn't have any of it.
It's bedlam thinking.
It
about
was
what-
bedlam.
Like I see some of these clips. They're like, oh my gosh, these two guys shoved each other. I'm like, there would be like 40-on-40 fights in the middle of a
I know.
street.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what? That was crazy. But okay, so Instagram. If you had to pick a perfect influencer, like for you all specifically, maybe not just to be like, okay, our numbers are juiced. What's your perfect influencer you'd pick that you say, this is our ideal client that we want to work with, that we think we could do a lot with? Because Instagram is interesting to me because there's the fitness side, there's the travel side, probably funny comedy's a decent thing. Fashion's big, like you said,
Yeah.
things that maybe would skew more female.
Parents,
Right.
parenting.
Then there's also the side where it's just like straight like what booty or cleavage, where it's like that's gonna get you
Okay.
a million followers.
I
Like
didn't even realize it until I logged into my husband. I think it's mostly just guys. And he's just like, he's so like socially and that, like social media and that. He's like, babe, why are there so many like booby photos coming up? And
There's a ton.
I think it, but here's the thing, because I
If you go to-
never, I think if you're a guy, because
oh,
I've
it's gonna
never.
push you in that
target-
direction.
Yeah, because I've never
Mhm.
received. I was like,
'Cause
what
I
are you
don't
talking-
get
I don't
that.
get that.
Is it if you go to one page one
Could be,
time,
could
it's a
be,
likelihood that
yeah.
they're not. Oh, so you like this?
I see-
so I'm gonna see
I
you
get-
2,000
yeah.
more
Come on,
profiles like
Travis.
this.
Comedians-
I have
One
been to that.
time, one time,
If-
Travis.
if
I
I
see
was looking for
comedians,
outfits.
musicians, all this stuff, and they're women that they'll just post like, hey, I've got a show, 12 likes. The second they do anything remotely sexual or, and I don't even say sexual, like they should be able to post whatever they want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Remotely enticing, 150 likes, 100, like all so much more engagement.
Sex sells.
Sex
You gotta,
sells.
you gotta play the game.
Yeah.
More
play the
cleavage
game.
for us. All right.
for-
I'll-
yeah.
Sex,
we'll do
drugs,
more-
and alcohol.
Okay,
Yeah.
now
more
we're
cleavage
talking.
for this show. We'll do that.
So who's your perfect client then? That you're
our
going to
perfect-
build up, that you would say, okay, we're going to take you from this ball of clay and we're going to mold
Travis.
you into our. Oh wow, look at
The
that.
scarf and all.
I feel like
That's the correct answer.
I'm
We need like a pumpkin spice latte for you.
oh, I see. Look.
Have you seen that
I
meme?
think oh yeah, I could get all the scarves and I can. I think what I'm worried about is that I know I will likely be a celebrity, and there's a lot of pressure that comes along with it, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to put my friends and my family through that
Say we're
just yet. So it's
acquaintances
just
at
a
this point.
matter of just
We can
balance
work
in
with
my
you.
life.
We can work with you.
Okay. All right.
It can be your
cool.
manager.
Just like I do Good Morning America, but
Oh.
I'm not, you know. But I also want to stay humble. I'll do the local shows as well.
Oh,
You
okay.
bring that word up, humble.
So okay.
Some of these influencers,
Oh,
God.
my.
Oh my God.
that is like they start, and we start with them, and then all of a sudden they're just these huge influencers.
Right.
They don't stay humble.
Yeah, it's really strange because it can all
And
go
that
away
is
really
my pet
fast.
peeve.
Yeah.
Like, stay humble because
Right.
all this is going to go
Away. And it can
But
go
I
away
think-
quickly.
Yeah.
But I think that's the hard part, right? Because like traditionally, when someone gets famous or a celebrity, there's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of
that goes-
and
there's
years
skill-
to
and
prepare
there's
for, to
skill
know
that
the
goes with-
traps. Yeah.
Right. You have an actual skill to go with
Yes.
it, right? You have to be an actress, a really talented actress,
Yes.
or a really
Very
talented
true.
singer, like
Very
Frank
true.
Sinatra, Elvis, and love that era.
Right.
But but now it's like you can be famous literally for nothing, and think about
And you
it.
won't have the skills that generally accompany that
Yeah.
fame or
Right.
stardom.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a tricky, and I mean mental health comes some place into it
course.
because how do you're trying to hang on to that fame
Right.
and that fame provides for you.
Right.
Right. So how do you hang on
Yeah.
to that?
Right.
So stay humble, Travis.
I,
Stay
no,
humble.
that's what I'm
Because
saying.
I already
Chris.
feel it. I feel that you're
Oh,
not.
like no, look again. Being an international screenwriter, as many know, I
Three
don't.
months at a program in Sesame.
Being a Brooklyn Lonian night,
Mm-hmm.
has
3
prepared me for the next step in celebrity. So I'm okay. I would
Well,
see
you know
Anne
what?
Hathaway on my runs in one of the really cool urban parks, and I'd be like, "Hey, Anne," and we're good. So
I don't
Biggie, we're
remember
good.
hearing that.
Can we talk about Sesame Street for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. So how'd you get that gig? I mean, that's
That's actually, you
influencer
know what?
material right
That you
there.
know what?
Do
How
you
I
know
got
how
the
many
no, basically how
moms
I
would be
got.
on your-
I know how I connected to that
Well,
gig
it's-
through social media,
Really?
through Twitter,
Everything.
through Twitter.
Everything.
And like to Chris's
Yeah.
point, I guess it would if it depends on the field or whatever your career would be. But I've noticed, for as Chris pointed out, writers, comedians, actors, photographers, artists, like that works because you'll see
Yeah.
opportunities.
It's all networking. Even
Yes.
with us,
Yes.
we find
Yes.
clients on social.
And that's
We'll
how
reach out.
that's how I used to, and I've kind of waned off Twitter because I was like with the phone, I couldn't put it down, so
Yeah.
I had to take some time off. But I've started to use Twitter for a networking
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
So to see how it works, and
Yeah.
it really is. I just never imagined that social media could be that connector.
It's so
No,
real.
Just
It's-
never thought it
it's
would.
real.
I didn't think it would ever
Yeah.
cut to that
I mean,
point.
that's how I remembered, which is funny fun fact. Jen probably heard it 1,000 times, but at the J School, I was on Twitter's focus group for an extra credit before I
Ah.
became Twitter.
Oh,
that
nice.
crazy?
And I
Really
remembered
Dope.
it was just like, would she tweet for 140 characters? Sure. Like, because that
Right.
Zanga was huge at that
Yeah.
point,
Right.
But when Twitter came out, I remember I was in my junior year in the J School, and I started connecting with these like brands and like
Yeah.
not brands, like people. Like
Yeah.
I mean, so I went to New York City and for spring break with my girlfriend, and I was talking to this guy, like just like so stupid, and I'm like, he owns an agency, and I was
Right.
trying to get a job,
Right.
and he was like, oh, I was like, I'm in New York City. He's like, oh, that's where I am. He's like, come on over, I'll show you my office, and I'm just like, went over. Stupid.
Right.
Like, thank God he was legit,
Right.
but he actually
Sure.
owned an agency,
Right.
but. It was in a way a great way to like connect because I wouldn't have gone in if I did the traditional like snail mail or trying to call. Like
True.
we had rapport for about
Right.
6 months, just texting, not texting, but kind
Right.
of tweeting back and forth. But also it was stupid because I didn't know
Right.
like who
Yeah.
this guy
Well,
was.
But it
and,
worked out.
and then, and especially again, as the
guess.
industry continues to be more fluid and people trying to find ways in, I think we've seen it recently, even with the current agent writer tiff in Hollywood.
Yeah.
People are trying to get writing jobs without using their agents, and they're using things like social
Yeah.
media, using things like Twitter
It
to
removes
get those
barriers,
opportunities.
yeah.
So to see it used in this fashion is, we go, okay, the internet can be good sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's really neat to just see it evolve and again so
Yeah.
quickly.
Whether
Yeah.
it's Sesame Street or connecting with somebody, are literally.
Yeah.
Some people take it way too far, but you're literally like a mention away from talking to your favorite
Right.
actor,
Literally.
writer,
And almost
Right.
a few more mentions away from actually working with them.
Right.
That's kind of the cool
Yeah.
thing too.
Yeah.
Well, even spreading the word about like we're on it, like the meth campaign, like those campaigns.
Yeah, they're all-
Absolutely.
I mean, social media really, like, democratized, like, social media, like, really made it, like, back in the day, there's just so much, like, gatekeepers,
Yes.
like, with the media, right? It started with TV, a couple channels, and then radio, but there's always those gatekeepers that kind of push us out, like,
Yeah.
what you should consume. And now it's like, if I want to watch Baby Shark 5,000 times, I
Sure.
can go look for that and not wait, what I
Yes.
mean?
No,
Like,
exactly.
absolutely.
choose and that's how influencer marketing. I can choose to consume what kind of ads I want to be.
Right.
No, that
know.
makes total sense.
And
yeah.
then watching the major brands have to make the adjustment on the fly, especially the major media companies. Like to
Yeah.
watch them also kind of be caught flat-footed and trying to play
Yeah.
catch up has been
Right.
also very interesting to watch as well.
Radio stations.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely radio stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. If you get caught flat-footed in this market now,
Yeah,
you're
I
in
mean,
trouble.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
But
curious.
that's why they need
People
people
are-
like you guys
people
in
are
order to
on
get them across the finish
podcasts,
line. Yeah.
because you can listen to a podcast anytime.
That's very
Oh,
true.
for sure. And you can actually, and it's real conversation. Like
Yeah.
it's not a, so Facebook, all right, we're going to throw it to commercial. Like it's not, just like a cheap thing. It's like you're actually
Right.
talking.
Yeah.
I am curious, Gardner, if you could choose an industry that you would have them maybe get you into the influencer market. I need you to pick one. I have an idea of what you'd go with. But if you came to Socially Inspired and you said, I aspire to be an influencer, what industry are you throwing them that you would like to represent?
Bullpen carts,
Oh, okay.
What cards?
Bullpen carts? What
Bullpen
about
carts.
scooters?
scooters, most certainly.
E-scooters? Could we make that happen? We have
Yeah.
connected with a scooter brand
Through
due to a very
Instagram.
funny video he has.
My
with, like,
daughter has a scooter. She loves it. She's 3. She rides it everywhere.
he's 40 and he loves his.
Well, I
Woody
want
and
a
I
s-
bought my own over
No,
here.
I want a scooter.
They're fantastic.
So we're going to work on that. We're going to
Now,
work
is
on a
this
scooter
motorized
campaign.
scooter?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, and it doesn't adhere to the governance at Forest Park. Like, you know how they have the
love
thing that
Yeah,
shuts them
yeah,
down?
Yeah.
His,
He
his
did.
has no
What brand
restrictions.
is it?
It's a Voro Motors E-Move.
Yeah.
Okay,
I talked to them in their DMs and I sent them something. And they never
I've
got
had it
back.
up to 28.
Ooh.
Whoa! Slow down.
Okay. Trav, what do you? What
Well,
do you,
yeah, because he's already been in an accident.
It wasn't my fault.
Do you wear a
That's
helmet?
what.
I do wear a helmet.
That's it.
Customized. Yeah.
And that's what we encourage for
'Cause-
everyone. Because
Yes.
my friends who work at BJC are yelling at me to tell everybody, tell your friends to put on those doggone helmets. We get 25 of these in the ER every day. So please.
Chasing gunshot wounds for
Gunshot
motor
wounds
injuries
and
things
scooter
like that.
accidents. That is St.
accidents.
Louis in a nutshell.
It was the car's fault. It wasn't my
It was
fault.
the.
Oh yes,
Right,
that's what
right.
all
That's
the
what
bikers
yeah.
say. The cyclists say too.
That's how it goes. All right. So
Boy,
how can
you
people?
turn in the middle of the street without warning.
We'll have to show them the video when we're done here too. How can people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about your services? We'll have to have you back. This is a lot of fun. I think we can run with this. I would say if
Anytime,
we're, yeah, I think it'd
anytime.
be good. So what? How do you want people to get a hold of you all?
Email us.
Email us.
Jen@sociallyinspired.co.
Follow us on social, but website sociallyinspired.co.
Nice.
Follow us on Instagram.
Instagram is the best way. I
Yeah.
figured that would kind of be where
Yeah.
people
Yep.
need to go.
And congratulations on starting a business.
Oh,
Thanks.
man.
Exhilarating.
Never
It's
ends.
really cool. I can only imagine.
8 years.
Yeah.
8 long years.
A lot of hustle.
Lot of hustle, right?
A lot of hustle.
Lot
but
of hustle. Can't stop either.
Hashtag hustle.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, all the time.
Hustle to Sophie's for Happiest Hour this Thursday and every Thursday. Comedy right here in Grand Center in the Dot Zach. These two will be there in a couple weeks, maybe. We might
Yeah,
get you in there
yeah.
to come have some fun. Comedy each and every Thursday right here at Sophie's. Thanks to Jack Daniels for presenting that for us. You two, Socially Inspired. I really appreciate you coming
Thank you
by.
guys
It's been
for
an
coming in.
absolute
you guys.
blast.
This is
Thank you.
fun.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This is awesome.
Look at that. Look at that. The logo. It's ready to roll.
That's beautiful.
Once again, thanks to Tech Electronics for all the equipment in our studio. We love the Behringer board over there, Gardner. How's it treating you today?
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, so nice. All of our other sponsors and everybody for tuning in. Socially Inspired, for Travis, for Gardner. We're back live tomorrow at 8 a.m. See you then.
Peace.
Bye.